Good evening and welcome to Big Z Sports presentation of high school baseball. Tonight, in this IVC matchup, the Indian Valley Braves host the Ridgewood Generals, presented by Stalker Concrete. Tonight's game is also brought to you by Amici's Pizza, Claxon Communications, First National Bank of Denison, Gilland Body Shop, Hartzler's Quality Housing, Keim, Kent State University Tuscarawas, PAC Drilling, Parkway Quick Lane, TMK Valley Propane, and Wood Electric. Now, let's head to the Diamond with Joe Geckler.
Live from Ridgewood High School, it's high school baseball play-by-play action between the 6-5 Ridgewood Generals and the 7-6 Indian Valley Braves, presented by Big Z Sports, Claxon Communications, and Stalker Concrete. I'm Joe Geckler, joined in the booth with Travis McClellan and Jordan Hartzler. And Travis, I'll start with you. The Ridgewood Generals are just 2 years out of a state runner-up finish and still have some talent left from that team, of course. Last year, COVID stalled out the season for the Generals. They were unable to play, but this team still has a lot to prove.
Yeah, a lot to prove, Joe. At 6-5, that's Ridgewood has always been a tradition-rich program, and them going to be in the state runner-up, 1 out away really from the state title. Some of these kids are playing tonight. We're on that team, and last year with COVID getting knocked out, they were thirsty to get back. Some ring rust here, but I know they're fundamentally sound. I know they're going to play good baseball. There's talent in that dugout. It should be a good baseball game.
Good to be back on the air with you, my man.
Good to join you, my friend.
It's been a while, but we're going to flip over to my right now and talk with one of the new members of Big Z Sports for baseball, and that's Jordan Hartzler. Jordan, the Indian Valley Braves are a very young team, only 3 seniors, 3 juniors. They have 8 underclassmen. How important is it for the Braves to get the young guys going this year?
Thanks, Joe. Indian Valley is a great program, and they teach our kids how to play ball the right way down there. Games like this are program builders for the team. When you can get your young kids in good ball games and big situations like this just sets you up for the future.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Jordan, on that as well. And we're going to take a break, come back, get into starting lineups and your first pitch after this. You're listening to High School Baseball with Big Z Sports, Claxon Communications, and Stalker Concrete. Joe Geckler, Travis McClellan, and Jordan Hartzler back after this.
If you're planning a major concrete project, you need the help of Stalker Concrete Company. From precast concrete products to ready-mix concrete, sand, gravel, limestone, and concrete block, the professionals at Stalker Concrete can help you get started and keep you on the path to completion using the best materials you can find. Stalker Concrete is the concrete material provider you can count on. See them at 7574 Route 36, Janaden-Hutton, or call 740-254-4626. Pizza is most everyone's favorite, and you have plenty of choices. But there's just something different about a pizza from Amici's Pizza in West Lafayette. Amici's Pizza takes pizza to an all-new level. You can get a traditional Italian pizza or try one of their delicious specialty pizzas. And everything from the dough to the sauce is made fresh daily. It doesn't get any better than Amici's Pizza, Kirk Street, West Lafayette. Big city taste for a small town price.
Now, back to Big Z Sports on 99.9.
You might just have to roll.
Welcome back to Ridgewood High School for today's high school basketball hour. High school baseball action between Ridgewood and Indian Valley with Big Z Sports, Claxon Communications, and Stalker Concrete. Of course, the game has not started yet. We'll get to the starting lineups here in a weird way today. The Ridgewood Generals are the visiting team, as first pitch is going to go off here in just a moment from Indian Valley, who is the home team. They had to move their game here to West Lafayette. First pitch in there for a strike one to Ridgewood's leadoff hitter, number 2, Gabe Tingle. Batting second, number 8, Javen Belt. Number in the third hitter is number 3, Chase Booth. The 0-1 pitch is going to be high for ball 1. 1-1, Kyle Enos on the hill for the Indian Valley Braves, the lefty. As Gabe Tingle now looks in, Enos gets his sign, fires the 1-1 pitch. And Tingle hard chop to first base, and he is going to be out, and it's going to be fielded there by Cole Lancaster. 1 out here in the top of the first.
Kyle Enos, the junior lefty there, Joe, started Tingle out there with a curveball, then threw a show-me fastball to kind of get him off guard there. Nice curveball there by Kyle Enos, the lefty junior.
Now into the batter's box for the Ridgewood Generals, number 8, Javen Belt. He plays first base here for the Generals in West Lafayette. The first pitch is going to be a strike with the fastball from Kyle Enos, the lefty, for the Indian Valley Braves. Indian Valley's defense in left field, Trevor Myers, center field, Rafe Bonifay, and right field, Grant Schutte. And we'll finish up here in just a second as the 0-1 pitch. Curveball, and it's going to be chopped foul just off of third base. At catching today is Tanyan Mccomb, catching Kyle Enos, of course. We have Cole Lancaster at first. And now the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and grounded to shortstop, fielded, and he flips on to first. And Belt is retired for the second out of the inning. No score here, top of the first. The Ridgewood Generals, again, the away team on their own field. Of course, Indian Valley had to move their home game for Ridgewood here to West Lafayette. Their field is not quite ready. They're at the high school. They're getting a brand new field with the field turf. It's going to be a beautiful facility once done. Just not quite done yet. The weather has not been cooperating for the Indian Valley Braves. As Chase Booth steps into the plate, he takes the first pitch right down the middle for a strike. It's now 0-1. Again, 2 outs here, top of the first. No score between Ridgewood and Indian Valley here in West Lafayette. Enos gets a sign and delivers. Curveball, strike 2 looking by Chase Booth, the shortstop for the Generals.
Enos, Joe, started from all 3 batters off with a first pitch strike. You throw first pitch strikes, you win the at-bat 70% of the time. Good start there for the junior.
Now the 0-2 pitch from Enos. Going to be swung on and driven into the right center field gap as Booth rounds first and heading to second. And the center fielder bobbles it, allows Booth to get to second base. That's Rafe Bonifay playing center field for the Indian Valley Braves. It was going to be a double regardless of Booth bobbling the ball or not, or Bonifay bobbling the ball or not in center field. So that's going to go down as a double for Chase Booth.
Good piece of hitting there with 2 strikes by Booth.
Looking opposite field, little inside out there. The pitch sequence was fastball, curveball, come back with a fastball up a little bit. He hits at the right center for the double.
The first pitch is going to be popped up by Colin Smith to the right fielder, and he is going to catch it. Does Grant Schutte. That retires the Generals. And after the first half inning of the first inning, no score here. West Lafayette. We'll be back with to Ridgewood High School with more after this quick timeout. You're listening to High School Baseball with Big Z Sports, Claxon Communications, and Stocker Concrete.
Wood Electric has been trusted with all of your electrical needs for over 30 years. They are the place to call for residential, commercial, and industrial work. Wood Electric is available 24 hours a day and ready to help with any electrical problem, outage, or installation. Wood Electric, serving Tuscarawas County and beyond since 1988. Like Wood Electric on Facebook or find them online at woodelectric.net.
You're with Big Z Sports on 99.9 WTUZ.
High school baseball with Big Z Sports, Claxon Communications, and Stocker Concrete. Joe Geckler, Travis McClellan, and Jordan Hartzler live in West Lafayette today. We're in the bottom of the first inning, no score. Ridgewood got a 2-out double by Chase Booth, but he was stranded at second base to end the top of the first inning. That's right, you hear that right. Ridgewood is the away team here today on their home field due to the field not being able to be played at Indian Valley. But, guys, a good first inning there by Enos.
Yeah, great first inning. Pounded the strike zone, got up in the count early. You control the at-bat. We saw 2 of the 4 batters he saw down 0-2. You're really in the driver's seat at that point. Good command of the strike zone early for Kyle Enos.
You know, a pitcher should try to get every batter out with 3 pitches. And I think every batter he faced, he was right there with 3 pitches. He let the double go. The kid did a good job taking it the other way, but he had a real good inning there by Enos.
So Enos gets out of the trouble with the 2-out double, but now the Indian Valley Braves up to bat, led off by number 21, Gavin Henry, and he steps into the plate, batting from the right side of the dish. First pitch is going to be swung on and popped up And this looks like it's going to be playable over there at first base, and it is by Javen Belt as Belt hauls in out number 1 for the Ridgewood Generals.
What you're going to see a lot, Joe, is two mirror teams. They're going to be fundamentally sound. They're not going to beat themselves. They're going to do everything the right way, and you're going to have to go out and win it. It's not going to be handed to you by errors and mishaps today.
Batting second is the center fielder, Rafe Bonifay. He wears number 15 for the Indian Valley Braves, and he takes a strike on the first pitch from Andy Troyer. And Aiden Troyer, the catcher, his younger brother, kind of a neat 1-2 punch here today for the Battery Mates brothers get to go at it together. The second pitch, line down the third base line, and that's going to be a fair ball for Rafe Bonifay. The left fielder, Keegan Millender, gets it back in and holds him to a single, so that's going to be a hard line drive single off the bat of Rafe Bonifay.
Bonifay turned on that inside pitch, Joe, and got it past the diving third baseman there for the Ridgewood, General Smith, and just couldn't quite get there. He starts him off with a runner on first, 1 out. See what the Braves can do. See if they move him over or swing away here with their third hitter.
Standing in as the third hitter for the Indian Valley Braves, number 1, Cole Lancaster, the first baseman for the Braves. Troyer gets the pitch inside, ball 1 against Cole Lancaster. Again, runner on first after a 1-out single by Rafe Bonifay. He gets the lead over there at first.
You got to respect the flow coming out of the helmet there, Cole Lancaster.
You do. He has some lettuce coming out of the back of that helmet for sure.
It's a tough out for sure.
The runner goes on a steal to second. He slides in head first, and he is going to be safe, is Rafe Bonifay. Nice pitch, nice catch and throw by the catcher and Aiden Troyer, but just not in time as Bonifay steals second.
What that tells me, Joe, is Indian Valley wants to be aggressive, and they like what they see of their chances against the Battery of Ridgewood here taking bases.
It's going to be 1 ball, 1 strike now to Cole Lancaster. Troyer gets the pitch, curveball outside, ball 2 to Cole Lancaster. Again, no score here in West Lafayette between the Ridgewood Generals and Indian Valley Braves. The Indian Valley Braves, the home team here today. Joe Geckler, Travis McClellan, and Jordan Hartzler providing all the action here thanks to Big Z Sports, Claxon Communications, and Stocker Concrete. It's going to be a high chopper to shortstop. He fields it, throws on to first, and they get him. Does Chase Booth, the shortstop, as it goes 6-3 on the putout. The runner at second does hold and is not able to advance. Shortstop did a nice job looking the runner back.
Great play by Booth coming up there, and he got rid of that thing quick and got it over there. Accurate throw to first, and they weren't able to advance the runner there, so he's still in scoring position with 2 outs. You got your 4th hitter up, so you got to like your chances if you're Shannon McCombs.
And that 4 hitter is Braden Parsons. He wears number 2 and plays third base for the Indian Valley Braves as Troyer looks, sets, and delivers. Ball outside, 1-0 to Braden Parsons. Beautiful day here in West Lafayette, about 65 degrees, the wind blowing from right to left here. A nice steady breeze. They get one up in the air. They may be able to get it out of here today here in West Lafayette. The 1-0 pitch from Troyer. Another curveball high. He gets all the way to the backstop, and that's going to allow Bonifay to get over to third base. I will call that a wild pitch.
Yeah, that's got to be a wild pitch. That was up, and they did the best to get up there and get it, but a little high there. Gets the backstop, moves him over to third. 2 outs. Now any little bloop or squeaker that falls in, a dying quail, they'll get a run.
Parsons just a sophomore, hitting the ball really well, batting .375 for the year.
Ball 3 outside as Andy Troyer tries to get him chasing on the slider, and it just goes a little bit too far outside.
3-0 with your 4-hole hitter here with 2 outs. I'm going to assume he's got the green light here on anything straight and fast here.
Not
One
sure.
spot.
Yeah, I'm say not sure Troy will give him much here to hit, and he does give him a fastball, and Parsons taking all the way. It's going to be strike 1. So a 3-1 count now to Braden Parsons as Rafe Bonifay leads off third base after a single. He stole second, gets to third on a wild pitch. Andy Troyer gets the pitch, and he makes the pitch, and it is fouled off to bring the count full to Braden Parsons. The number 4 hitter, like Jordan said, batting .375 on the season as a sophomore. The future is bright here at the Indian Valley. They have 8 underclassmen on this team here this year. Troyer with the full count pitch. It's going to be high, ball 4, as Parsons is on at first base with the walk.
The beauty of being ahead in the count, especially 3-0, 3-1, is you're sitting dead red fastball. And if it's not there and it's not where you want it, you let it go. You're still in control of the at-bat. He fouls one off, but still wins the at-bat and gets the walk.
Now stepping into the batter's box for the Indian Valley Braves, number 2, Grant Schutte. He plays right field for the Braves. We saw Schutte a lot during the basketball season. Great basketball player is Schutte. Troyer gets the pitch, hesitates, throws it right down the middle for a strike, and that is 0-1 now to Grant Schutte. The defense for Ridgewood today, Keegan Millender in left, Gabe Tingle in center, Curtis Varian in right, Aiden Troyer catching, Javen Belt at first, Braden Molesky at second, Chase Booth at short, Colin Smith at third, and of course Andy Troyer on the hill today for the Generals. The 0-1 pitch in the dirt. Nice job by Aiden Troyer to get over and block that, keep that from going to the backstop. Going to be 1-1 now to Grant Schutte. Troyer looks in, gets his pitch, and now fires again just a bit outside as the umpire points to the outside of the plate. And it's going to be 2-1 now to Grant Schutte. A hitter's count for sure for Grant Schutte. 2 runners on. No score here. Bottom of the first inning between Ridgewood and Indian Valley. Troyer's 2-1 pitch swung on and missed by Grant Schutte to make it 2-2 now to the number 5 hitter for the Indian Valley Braves, Grant Schutte. Again on first, Braden Parsons, who drew a walk, and Rafe Boniface on third, who had a single, stole second, and got to third on a wild pitch. Swing and a foul back here above the press box. Beautiful press box here for Ridgewood. They have first-class amenities here in West Lafayette, from football to basketball to baseball. That's what you get when you come to West Lafayette.
Yeah, they always treat us good down here. But the last 3 batters for Indian Valley has gone deep in the count here. The pitch count's starting to climb for no runs in the first. The last 3 batters have gone at least 4 to 5 pitches each.
Troyer needs to make a pitch right here. This is a count. He doesn't want to go full count here. He needs to make this one count.
The 2-2 pitch from Troyer. Swung on and driven to left field, and it's going to get back and give Millender some problems in left field, but he gets back and was able to corral the 3rd out of the inning. After 1, no score here in West Lafayette. Back with the 2nd inning. You're listening to high school baseball thanks to Big Z Sports, Claxon Communications, and Stocker Concrete. Back after this.
This is Jim Smucker, president of Kime in downtown Charm, Ohio. By now we hope you're aware of our local next-day delivery service. We call it Local Express. You simply call us to place your order and those items will be on your doorstep the very next day. Now that's Kime time. The new catalog is available at kimehome.com and you can call 330-893-5030 to place your order today. That's 330-893-5030. When you think Kime, think lumber plus everything you need to make a house a home.
You found it. Big Z Sports on 99.9 WTUZ.
Welcome back to Ridgewood High School for today's high school baseball action. I said it again. Ridgewood and Indian Valley with Big Z Sports, Claxon Communications, and Stocker Concrete. No score, top of the 2nd inning between the Generals and the Indian Valley Braves. Again, the Indian Valley Braves are the home team here today. They are not able to play on their field, so Ridgewood said, hey, just come on down here. We'll play you here. You can be the home team, and we will be visitors on our own field. But in the top of the 1st inning, Ridgewood was able to get a runner to second on a 2-out double, but they stranded him there as Colin Smith flew out to the right fielder. Now their number 5 hitter and their pitcher, number 10, Andy Troyer, steps in to take on the lefty, Kyle Lenis from Indian Valley. The first pitch is going to be outside, ball 1.
Pretty sure that's only his 2nd ball he's thrown.
Yeah, he's been in the strike zone all day.
Yeah, been very, 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 very efficient. Has the left-hander, Kyle Lenis, for the Indian Valley Braves. Another shot into the left center field gap by Chase Booth. As they get over, he rounds first, and he's headed to second. There's going to be a play at second. He goes in head first, does Andy Troyer, and he makes it into second on a leadoff double for the Ridgewood Generals.
Great hustle. He got a great pitch to hit right there, and he sat on and drove it in the gap. Great job.
Good aggressiveness there out of Ridgewood. He was going to second right out of the box, and that's how you get those doubles, is you break it out of the box hard, and around there they missed the cutoff, throws a little offline, he slides in safe. They're starting the inning with a runner in scoring position.
So no outs, runner on second after the leadoff double by Andy Troyer. Braden Brickles in now for the Generals, the DH. He wears number 15 for Ridgewood. Enos gets the sign, looks back at second, and now fires to the plate. Going to be a curveball, strike one from Kyle Enos. Another off-speed pitch to start the count. Now 0-1 to Braden Brickles.
He likes that little sweeper curve coming in from the outside to the box to the outside corner on those right-handers to start the count. He's really throwing that a lot early.
Enos looks, another curveball, and it's going to be a little bit low, says the umpire. Going to be 1-1 now to number 15, Braden Brickles for the Ridgewood Generals. Again, no outs here, top of the second inning. Andy Troyer on second after a leadoff double. Enos gets his sign, looks back to second, fires a fastball just outside for ball number 2. 2-1 to Braden Brickles.
Joe, that just missed, and the Ridgewood Generals showing a lot of confidence in Brickles, not bunting him over with no outs and a guy on second to play small ball. They like what they see.
The 2-1 pitch going to be low in the dirt, ball 3. Hitters count again for the Ridgewood Generals. See if they can take advantage of that here. Kyle Enos having trouble finding the strike zone here to their number 6 hitter, Braden Brickles, for the Ridgewood Generals. Enos gets a sign. Fastball outside, ball 4 as Brickles draws the walk. That's going to bring up number 24, Curtis Varian, the right fielder for the Ridgewood Generals. Generals in white pants today, black stripe. They have the brown and orange socks with the white underneath. They have orange jerseys with a black stripe in the middle.
It's a bunt situation here, Joe.
It is for sure. 2 on, no outs. Runners on first and second. Enos gets the sign, and that's exactly what he's going to do. A perfect bunt there by Millender. He's going to beat it out for a base hit as Cole Lancaster falls down, going down the first base line to field the bunt. So that's going to be a tough break for the Indian Valley Braves. Now the base is loaded for number 23, Keegan Millender, as he steps in. Millender, the left fielder for the Generals.
What a nice bunt right down the first base line. Lancaster's only play was the first. Unfortunately, he slipped. Now they have the bases loaded with no out. The Ridgewood Generals are threatening real serious here in the top of the second inning. I almost said bottom of the second. But
Millender takes the first pitch on the inside corner, strike number 1. Again, bases loaded here, top of the second inning for the Ridgewood Generals. No outs, as Kyle Enos has found himself in a little bit of trouble. And Millender takes strike number 2 on the outside corner. 0-2 count now for Keegan Millender.
Keegan just needs to think barrel to baseball right here. He's got to put the ball in play any way he can.
Absolutely. Get the ball to the outfield, get a run in. The infield's playing back, double play depth here as Enos fires the 0-2 pitch. It's going to be driven into the right field, and that's going to knock in a run for the Ridgewood Generals as Keegan Millender comes through on an 0-2 pitch and drives it into right field. And the Ridgewood Generals now lead Indian Valley 1-0.
What a nice approach the Generals have at the plate today. They're looking inside out. They're looking opposite field. They've seen a lot of pitches. They're going to see it develop from that lefty, smack it to right field. Also to note, the freshman catcher for the Indian Valley Braves, Tanyan Mccomb, a lot of pressure on him with the bases loaded here. The freshman playing varsity baseball, the coach's son here. Absolutely. He's back there as a freshman.
First pitch, and it's going to be It is going to be just out of reach of the left fielder, and it's going to fall for a base hit. Braden Molesky drives in another run on a bloop single to left field. Now the Generals lead 2-0.
Looking there, just hit them where they aren't kind of situation there. Good piece of hitting again. They're not necessarily blasting them off the wall, but they're putting them in there. You got a little hump back on that. Got it down, scored a run, got an RBI.
That's going to bring in the center fielder, number 2, Gabe Tingle. He takes the first pitch outside, ball 1.
Still no outs here. Ridgewood has 2 on the board, and the bases are full. Indian Valley, Enos got to buckle down here and get some outs.
Rally got started by the pitcher there, helping his cause, gave him a little momentum.
The 1-0 pitch.
Curveball again there from Enos. Tingle fights it off out of play.
Makes the count 1-1 here to Gabe Tingle as he grounded out to the first baseman back in the top of the first inning. Bases loaded, no outs here at West Lafayette. Ridgewood leads 2-0. Tingle takes a ball high over his head. He just stands there.
As a coach, you'd like to see him maybe wear that and get an RBI there, but corners in here for the Braves. They're going to cut off a run at the plate if they can.
See what they can do here. Gabe Tingle again. A 2-1 count, grounded out to the first baseman, Lancaster, in the top of the first inning to lead off the game. The 2-1 pitch as Tingle pops it out to the second baseman. Infield fly rule called, and the second baseman is...
Jordan, what do you say there if your leadoff batter kind of ducks out of the way with the bases loaded? Do you think you wear that there in that situation?
Yeah, I think you try to get on base any way you can, but Tingle's kid's got the best average on the team. He's really hitting the heck out of the baseball, so he's just going to, he wanted to put that ball in play. He just made a good pitch.
And the first pitch to Javen Belt. He flies the deep center field. That's going to get another run in as Javen Belt gets a sacrifice fly in the RBI. Brings in the third run of the game for the Ridgewood Generals as Curtis Varian scores from third base.
Productive out there by Belt, and that's what you want. If you're the Generals, you want productive outs when the bases are loaded here. No free outs on strikeouts or short pop-ups. You want to get the ball on the ground or in the air and get productive outs, and that's how you win baseball games. Putting up crooked numbers here in the top of the second are the Generals.
Top of the second inning, Ridgewood leads Indian Valley 3-0. 2 outs, 2 runners on, 1 at first and 1 at second. That's going to be a line drive to left field, and here comes the runner around third. The throw home's going to be late.
Oh, they don't cover third on thing, and they take second and third there. A little mental mistake by the Braves. An aggressive base running there by the Generals on the hit and run.
Coach McComb's going to go have a little talk with his team and try to settle things down.
Yeah,
so Chase Booth lines one in to left field, gets a run in, and he gets to second on the throw as Braden Molesky goes from first to third as Indian Valley, I would say, missed the cutoff man if I'm watching that from here. If they hit the cutoff man, I think those runners stay.
Right. They do. They were going to try to throw him out on the plate coming from second, but it was a hit and run. You got to have a strong throw. Maybe a one-hopper to the catcher there. It was offline. And also they didn't cover third, so that was free money there for the Generals.
Good job by the Generals doing work here with 2 outs.
Absolutely. 4-0, 4 spot here by the Ridgewood Generals in the top of the second inning. That's right, the top of the second here in West Lafayette. The Ridgewood Generals are the away team here today.
And your cleanup hitter.
Colin Smith in. He flew out to right field to end the first inning. The first pitch inside, ball 1 to Colin Smith.
We'll see if the mound visit by Coach McComb did any good to settle him down out there and right the ship at 4-0. You got to get out of here without any more damage.
Runners on second and third, 2 outs here. Colin Smith, the lefty in. He takes a shot and is driven down the first base line. Nice play by Cole Lancaster, but they did call it a foul ball by the home plate umpire. Cole Lancaster laid out to stop that ball, did a nice job, but it was a foul ball. So it's going to bring up a 1-1 count now to Colin Smith, the number 4 hitter for the Ridgewood Generals.
Really he does lead the team with 12 RBIs, and they really like Colin Smith down here. They really think he swings it well. He's not hitting for his average like they'd like to see him, but he swings it well.
That ball is shot into right field. Nice diving catch play by Grant Schutte to end the inning. Grant Schutte on a nice diving play to end the top of the second inning, but the Ridgewood Generals get on the board, and they get on the board with 4 big runs. And after 1.5 innings, Ridgewood 4, Indian Valley 0. Back with the bottom of the second inning after this. You're listening to High School Baseball with Big Z Sports, Claxon Communications. We'll be back after this.
At Gillen Body Shop, they know that when their business is needed, it's never planned, and that can cause you quite the inconvenience. That's why Gillen Body Shop makes the process as easy as possible for you by making sure the work is completed right the first time. And Gillen Body Shop's experienced staff gives all completed work a 100% guarantee. So when those unplanned repairs to your vehicle are needed, there's only one choice. Gillen Body Shop on Cary Avenue in New Philly, or find them on Facebook.
Now, back to Big Z Sports on 99.9.
Welcome back to Ridgewood High School for today's high school baseball action between the Ridgewood Generals and Indian Valley Braves with Big Z Sports, Claxon Communications, and Stocker Concrete. Joe Geckler, Travis McClellan, and Jordan Hartzler. We're in the bottom of the second inning. The Ridgewood Generals put a 4-spot in the top of the second inning to take the lead here 4-0.
Yeah, Indian Valley, we'll see if they can come back here in the bottom of the second. There's a lot of game left here, but they got to start chipping away at the lead, start seeing pitches, get some runners on. We saw in the first inning when they got a runner on, they really liked their chances against the pitching-catching battery of Ridgewood to take bases. We'll see if they stay aggressive here in the bottom of 2.
Andy Troyer on the hill today for the Ridgewood Generals. He gives up a single, a stolen base, and a wild pitch. Gets a couple runners on, but gets out of it in the bottom of the first inning, as he now throws the first pitch, and it's going to be bunted on and missed by number 10, Trevor Myers, for the Indian Valley Braves. You have Trevor Myers leading off here. Cale Coachman,
yeah.
Yep, he will bat next, and then Sam Zerker will bat third here in the inning as Andy Troyer gets the 0-1 pitch.
Nice shot.
As That's Myers drives it into the left field gap, and it gets over Millender's head on a bad hop as Myers all the way to second, and he is going to pull in there with a stand-up double as Keegan Millender goes for the ball, and it takes a bad hop on him and goes all the way to the wall. Great job by Gabe Tingle to get back there and back his left fielder up.
Really good job there. He got there on the ball quick. I thought after that hop over Millender's head, I thought that was a for sure triple. They hold him to 2. Great job by Gabe Tingle backing him up.
Good piece of hitting right there. Sometimes when you attempt to bunt and don't get it, it can affect how your rest of the plate appearance goes. He did a great job staying behind the baseball and really driving the ball in the gap.
Cale Coachman steps in for the Indian Valley Braves. He wears number 19 and plays second base for Indian Valley as the first pitch goes outside, ball number 1.
You know, when I played, I always like to look for that first pitch fastball because that may be the best pitch you're going to get the at-bat and drive that. I just like to be aggressive early, and to Jordan's point, when you're trying to bunt and don't get it, it can really mess with you at your plate appearance.
The 1-0 pitch going to be called strike 1 to Coachman. Going to be 1-1. Again, a leadoff double in the inning by Trevor Myers. Takes a bad hop over Keegan Millender's head in left field. Gabe Tingle did a nice job of backing up his left fielder to hold Myers to a double as Myers gets a big lead out at second. The 1-1 pitch is going to be driven to center field as Tingle settles underneath it and dares the runner Myers to run from second base. We know what kind of arm Gabe Tingle has from the quarterback position in football, and I don't think Trevor Myers is going to test that arm as Myers stays at second, 1 out now in the bottom of the second.
Coachman, one of those young Braves. They're young. Like we said, only 3 seniors. He's a sophomore, and followed up Sam Zerker, also a sophomore here for the Braves, as they got a quite young baseball team who are gaining experience.
Yep, Samuel Zerker in for the Indian Valley Braves, wears number 12 and plays is the DH here today, and he takes ball 1 outside.
You know, for me, I never liked to be the DH. I just felt like I couldn't get in the rhythm of the game. Like I just needed to be going. When I DH'd, I really didn't hit as well as when I was playing out in the field.
Troyer gets the call, and it's a fastball swung on and missed by Zerker to bring the count to 1-1.
Maybe Jordan can add on this, but you know, it just takes a different mindset to sit, and then come in and get your AB.
Right, exactly. Hey, Zerker's in a big spot right here. Let's see if he does the job. He put a big cut on that last fastball.
Another big cut, as Jordan mentioned, and he just missed it, just underneath it. And it goes to 1-2 on Zerker. Samuel Zerker, the DH for the Indian Valley Braves. The Braves in all white today with the blue stripe down the shirt, blue and red stripe down the pants. The 1-2 pitch swung on and missed by Zerker as he strikes out. As the Andy Troyer gets Zerker swinging on a fastball, a little up in his eyes for out number 2.
Gotta like that out of your pitcher. Troyer just went right after him. That kid was taking some big cuts, and he just threw him a high fastball right by him.
Yeah, Zerker never really shortened up his swing there a little bit. He was trying to hit it maybe up into the jet stream there, and unfortunately strikes out for the Braves.
Tanyan Mccomb steps in for the Indian Valley Braves, takes strike 1 on the outside corner. Mccomb, of course, wears number 5 and is the catcher here today for the Braves. Troyer gets his pitch. Curveball is going to stay high. Ball 1. Again, a leadoff double in the inning. Trevor Myers has been left stranded so far as Cale Coachman flew out to center fielder Gabe Tingle, and Samuel Zerker struck out. on the last at bat. Again, 0-2. Or 2 outs, excuse me. Runner on second with a fastball on the outside. Just missed. Ball 1 to Tanyan Mccomb.
Mccomb, the freshman, catching tonight. He's 14. He's not even driving yet. 15. He's out here competing against 18-year-olds. That speaks to his talent.
The 1-1 pitch is going to be high. Ball 2, Tanyan Mccomb. Nice eye there from the freshman, as Travis mentioned. Sometimes you get freshmen in a big situation like this. They can get a little anxious and want to swing at something, and, that's a great eye there from Mccomb to take that high fastball and let it go. The 2-1 pitch going to be driven to shortstop as Booth fields and flips on to first base, and that's going to retire the Indian Valley Braves after the leadoff double by Trevor Myers. They go 1-2-3, and after 2, Ridgewood 4, Indian Valley nothing. Back with the third inning after this. You listen to high school baseball thanks to Big Z Sports, Claxon Communications, and Stocker Concrete. Back after this.
Buying a home has never been so affordable with record low interest rates. Hartzler's Quality Housing is ready to put over 40 years of experience to work for you. Family owned and operated since 1978, Hartzler's has a wide selection of model homes on site with a knowledgeable team to help make your new home a reality. Open 6 days a week. Visit them off I-77 in Dover or online at hartzlers.com. Hartzler's Quality Housing. Quality from start to finish.
You're with Big Z Sports on 99.9 WTUZ.
High school baseball with Big Z Sports, Claxon Communications, and Stocker Concrete. Joe Geckler, Travis McClellan, and Jordan Hartzler live from West Lafayette. We're at Ridgewood High School today. Again, the top of the third inning. The Ridgewood Generals lead 4-0 as we have a new pitcher on the mound for the Indian Valley Braves. And it's going to be number 21, Gavin Henry.
He's going to come in from shortstop. The top of the third inning, the Braves up 4-0. Indian Valley had runners in scoring position in both of the first 2 innings, but couldn't capitalize it. Great job pitching for the Ridgewood Generals today. Andy Troyer holding them there scoreless. Now he's going to come. They batted around last inning to get the 4. We'll see what they can do.
Again, top of the third inning, the Ridgewood Generals lead 4-0. Coming up, leading off the inning is number 10, Andy Troyer. Number 15, Braden Brickles will bat second in the inning, and Curtis Varian is up third here in the top of the third inning. Again, 4-0. Ridgewood leads Indian Valley here in West Lafayette. Joe Geckler, Travis McClellan, and Jordan Hartzler. Jordan, man, thanks so much for coming out and hanging out with us today, doing some baseball. And we know that you're a big sponsor of Big Z Sports with Hartzler's Quality Housing, man. And talk to us a little bit about what Hartzler's provides to the community.
Well, what we provide to the community is affordable housing, and we like to thrive and be in that space of affordable housing, meet needs for any type of housing that people may have. And we appreciate, though, all you guys do. We want to support the community. We want to support Big Z Sports, and we again thank you guys for all your coverage of high school sports in the area.
Well, we couldn't do it without sponsorships like Hartzler's Quality Housing, and we appreciate it. As the first pitch is just outside from Gavin Henry, ball 1 to the pitcher Andy Troyer for the Ridgewood Generals as he lined a double to lead off the top of the second inning.
Gavin Henry, also a sophomore for the Braves.
Another ball outside, ball number 2. 2-0 to Andy Troyer, the pitcher for the Ridgewood Generals.
Something to keep an eye on. I saw Gavin Henry uncork a pretty nice knuckleball there in warm-ups. Well, maybe we'll see that here. It's a nice off-speed pitch to throw, really easy on your arm.
He's fallen behind in the count to his opposing pitcher, or his opposing number. 3-0 now to Andy Troyer. Going to be a strike on the inside corner, as Troyer thought it might have been ball 4, but the umpire said, nope, stay right here. Another pitch coming. 3-1 now to Andy Troyer, the pitcher for the Ridgewood Generals. Henry, a fast worker, and he gets Troyer right in the back as Troyer tries to get out of the way, hit him square between the 1 and 0 on his back. And so Troyer takes first base on the hit by pitch.
boy, he just made a nice pitch, a real nice pitch, hit the inside corner for a strike, and I think he was coming right back there to that inside corner and just got Andy Troyer in the back.
Braden Brickles now into the batter's box for the Ridgewood Generals. He walked his last time up and scored in the 4-run second inning as he takes strike one on the outside corner. As I mentioned, Gavin Henry, a fast worker. You like to see that in baseball these days. You get a pitcher, he gets it and wants to throw it right away. He gets a sign, now he steps off as Troyer gets a little bit too big of a lead over at first. He wasn't comfortable with that. Again, Troyer leads off, gets a big lead over at first. Henry gets his sign, now he's going to fire back over to first, and the ball gets away from Cole Lancaster as Andy Troyer now going to move up to second base. Going to be an error on the pitcher. And E1 allows Troyer to advance to second base.
You know, speed kills, and he got off a little bit, forced him to step off there, broke his rhythm. Like you said, he was working quick. Then you throw one away. He's on second with no outs.
Another big lead for Troyer. A curveball stays high to Brickles. It's going to be a 1-1 count now to the DH for the Ridgewood Generals. As Troyer gets a big lead at second, the fastball hits the outside corner, says the home plate umpire. It's going to be 1-2 now to Brickles.
I think Coach Laney wants to put a play on here. I think he'd like to get that runner over to third base with nobody out. Let's see if he tries to have his batter lay down a bunt here.
Let's see what happens on a 1-2 pitch. No outs. Runner on second. And he takes it just high, does Brickles for ball number 2. I think that could have went either way.
That's a close pitch to take with 2 strikes there. I think I would have tried to spoil that and come back with 1.
So a 2-2 count now to Brickles as he takes it and pops it up out of play back behind us here in the press box in West Lafayette. He stays alive now at 2-2. Runner on second after Andy Troyer, the pitcher for the Ridgewood Generals, was hit by a pitch and got over to second on a error by the pitcher who was trying to pick him off at first base, Gavin Henry. The pitcher now in for the Indian Valley Braves.
2-2's got to be the out pitch. You don't want to go full count.
2-2 pitch, strike 3 called, and Brickles is sat down on strikes looking for out number 1 here in the inning.
That's going to drive Coach Lahana nuts there. When you look at strike 3, you got to put a swing on that and try to spoil it or hit it, get a productive out there. He's not going to be pleased with that, but they're 17, 18-year-old kids here.
Now it's going to bring up number 24, Curtis Varian in the right fielder. The first pitch is driven out to left field, and Trevor Myers is underneath it for a can of corn and records out number 2 as Andy Troyer remains at second base.
He got there with no outs, and Gavin Henry buckled down, got 2 straight outs here to give his boys a chance to get out of here with no damage.
As a coach, though, guys, do you want Varian to take a few pitches there? He struggled on his last at bat or last couple of batters throwing some pitches. Do you want him to take a couple pitches, or do you think that's okay to swing away first couple pitches of the at bat?
You know, for me, I'm a little more conservative, a little small ball guy. I'd like to maybe see us take a pitch. If there's no strikes, I'd like to bunt him over. You know, you got the 4-0 lead. Just keep adding numbers on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'd like to make him come to you there in that situation. I felt like he wasn't in a rhythm, but now he sure does look like he's in a rhythm out there and settled down a little bit.
Got those 2 outs, and now he's firing away as Millender now behind 0-2 in the count as Keegan Millender falls behind 0-2. Runner on second, and that's Andy Troyer. Got on by a hit by pitch and advanced to second on an error by the pitcher.
I think Millinger found him 0-2 last time he was at bat, too, and he found a way to get on base.
0-2 pitch, strike 3 called as Millender strikes out looking to end the inning.
2 strikeouts looking there for the Ridgewood Generals in that inning after they had a guy in scoring position.
Andy Troyer gets to second base, but they leave him stranded after 2 strikeouts and a fly out to left field. That's going to do it for the top of the 3rd inning. Back with the bottom of the 3rd. Listen to high school baseball with Big Z Sports, Stocker Concrete, and Claxon Communications. Back after this.
Are you looking for a local propane supplier? TMK Valley Propane would like to offer you our hassle-free guarantee. We can provide you excellent service with automatic fill options, budget plans, and easy delivery. Let TMK show you how we take the hassle out of your winter heating needs. Give us a call today for a free site evaluation, 330-897-3911.
All the way to TMK, service with a
Final touch.
All right, here we go.
You found it. Big Z Sports on 99.9 WTUZ.
Welcome back to Ridgewood High School for today's high school baseball action between the Ridgewood Generals and Indian Valley Braves with Big Z Sports, Claxton Communications, and Stockard Concrete. Bottom of the third inning, the Generals lead the Indian Valley Braves 4-0. And a big thanks, we haven't said our thanks yet to Amici's Pizza as we're down here in West Lafayette. And, of course, whenever Big Z Sports is in West Lafayette, Amici's Pizza takes care of us and personally delivered us our pizza here to the press box today. Alan Folgert does a great job with Amici's Pizza, and we appreciate what Alan does for us. And a proud sponsor, of course, of Big Z Sports and baseball.
What great food.
Oh, unbelievable. My cauliflower-crusted pizza, top-notch as always.
My real pizza was really good, the pepperoni and cheese,
But we appreciate what Amici's Pizza does for Big Z Sports here and the community in West Lafayette, as the first pitch by Troyer is sent to Gavin Henry, and he sends it out to left center field as number 2, Gabe Tingle, is under it for out number 1.
You mentioned Gavin Henry. He really did do a good job buckling down the second half of that last inning and really allowing no runs after the hit by pitch and the error, putting the runner in scoring position with no outs. They didn't advance any farther, and he got 2 strikeouts looking. Great job by the sophomore.
Number 15, Rafe Bonifay, steps in now. He singled on his last at bat in the bottom of the first inning. The first pitch taken high, ball number 1. Bonifay got all the way over to third base and was stranded. He stole second and got to third on a wild pitch. The Braves could not get him across the plate in the bottom of the first as he takes strike number 1 from Andy Troyer. 1-1. Here in the bottom of the third inning, the Generals lead 4-0 over the Indian Valley Braves as Andy Troyer is pitching a heck of a ball game here today. Ball 2 on the outside for Troyer.
I will say this about the Braves hitters. They don't have any runs, but they do work the count pretty well and get deep into the count and see lots of pitches.
Love to know how many pitches Troyer has thrown here today. I bet he's thrown a bunch as he takes another ball outside, and that's going to be 3-1 to Rafe Bonifay. 36 pitches for Andy Troyer on the day, thanks to Jordan Hartzler keeping my pitch count for me today.
Hey, I asked Andy for the game. I said, how many do you got tonight, Andy? He said, as many as it takes. And that's what you want to hear out of your pitcher.
Absolutely. And again, the 3-1 pitch is going to be fouled back here and just out of play and into the bleachers here off of the third base line into the fans of the Indian Valley Braves. And that's going to make the count full now at 3-2 to Rafe Bonifay, the center fielder for the Indian Valley Braves. Andy Troyer on the hill today for the Ridgewood Generals. A 3-2 pitch. Going to be high, ball 4, as Bonifay works a walk.
1 out walk there. Braves got another runner with Cole Lancaster coming up, the third hitter for the Indian Valley Braves.
Yep, Cole Lancaster wears number 1 and plays first base. If you remember, Rafe Bonifay got on in the bottom of the first inning, promptly stole second one. Wondering if that's going to bother Andy Troyer at all on the mound as the first pitch. He looks back, fires it just outside to Cole Lancaster, ball 1. But Bonifay does get a nice big lead over there at first base. Looks like he wants to try to steal second again. He's a good 2, 3, 4 steps off of first base as Troyer glares into his brother Aiden Troyer, the catcher, and then they fire it over to first base as Bonifay is able to get back.
High throw. Belt goes up there. He's like, 6'2", 6'3". He skies up there and saves them an error for the Ridgewood Generals.
Javen Belt, a great athlete for the Generals.
Wide receiver.
Backup quarterback, of course, for the Generals football team. Troyer gets his pitch. Takes off running, does Bonifay on a bad throw as he goes in head first to second base. Another stolen base for Rafe Bonifay here today. A little better throw might have got him. And had a great delivery, but the throw was a little high to second base.
I think that Indian Valley staff saw something, and they knew they were going to run today once they get runners on. They really liked that matchup, their runners against the battery of the Ridgewood Generals.
2 balls, no strikes here to the third hitter, Cole Lancaster, for the Indian Valley Braves as he shoots one in between shortstop and third base as Millender lets it go through his legs, and it goes all the way to the fence, and that's going to knock in Rafe Bonifay from second base as Cole Lancaster delivers on the single, and he gets to second on the error by Keegan Millender in left field, allowing the run to score.
That's a couple little mishops we saw out there in left field today. One, Gabe Tingle got over to cut it off. That one Millender goes and gets, but RBI there for Cole Lancaster.
I don't know if it would have been an RBI, though, because I don't think they were going to send Bonifay.
Oh, you don't think?
I
thought they were. Yeah, I think they would have, but we'll see. Yeah, maybe not.
As Troyer gets the call on the outside corner for strike number 1 to Braden Parsons. As Lancaster is on second now after the single, and he advanced to second on the error by Millender. But it's 0-1 to Parsons. Ball outside, ball 1.
Indian Valley breaks the ice, and sometimes that gets you rolling. They got a runner in scoring position now with one out, down 4-1.
Travis mentioned 4-1 here, bottom of the third inning. Ridgewood leads Indian Valley. The 1-1 pitch, high and outside, ball 2.
2 balls and a strike. Hitters count here. See what they can do with it.
Again, Cole Lancaster on second base. He reached second on the fielding error by Keegan Millender here today, having some trouble in left field with the wind and the bad hops out in left field as Parson drives it to left field. Tagging from first, and he's going from second, going all the way to third is Lancaster as the throw from Curtis Varian comes in to third baseman Colin Smith just late, and Lancaster gets to third on the sacrifice fly by Braden Parsons.
Solid effort there by Varian and Wright. Nice throw, just couldn't quite get him, and nice piece of hitting there by the Braves, hitting behind the runner, get a fly ball to right. You know, that those little things go unnoticed sometimes, but you fly ball to left, he can't advance. Fly ball to right, he gets to advance to third, and anything can happen.
That brings up number 2, Grant Schutte. He flew out to the left fielder to end the first inning for the Indian Valley Braves as he takes ball 1 outside.
Big spot right here for the Braves. Schutte's got the second best average on the team. They'd like to see him find a spot here to put the baseball through.
And he's going to pop it up here on the infield as a catcher and pitcher come after it as Andy Troyer slides behind the plate and is able to record out number 3 of the inning. Nice play by the pitcher, Andy Troyer, from his pitcher's position all the way behind. I think Aiden Troyer lost it in the sun or the wind, and his brother was there to pick him up. Great job by Andy Troyer. That's going to do it for the bottom of the third inning. But the Indian Valley Braves get on the board with 1 run. And after 3, Ridgewood 4, Indian Valley 1. Back after this.
If you're planning a major concrete project, you need the help of Stocker Concrete Company. From precast concrete products to ready-mix concrete, sand, gravel, limestone, and concrete block, the professionals at Stocker Concrete can help you get started and keep you on the path to completion using the best materials you can find. Stocker Concrete is the concrete material provider you can count on. See them at 7574 Route 36, Janaden Hutton, or call 740-254-4626.
You're with Big Z Sports on 99.9 WTUZ.
High school baseball with Big Z Sports, Classic Communications, and Stocker Concrete. Joe Gettner, Travis McClellan, and Jordan Hartzler were in the top of the 4th inning here in West Lafayette. The Generals lead the Indian Valley Braves 4-1. The Ridgewood Generals were able to put 4 big runs on the board back in the 2nd inning to take the lead here as Indian Valley cracks the scoreboard with 1 run in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And now leading off for the Ridgewood Generals is going to be number 13, Braden Molesky, the second baseman. He singled his last at bat for the Generals. The first pitch is going to be low and inside, ball number 1.
Henry with his 2nd inning of work here, attacking the inside there against the righties. He's really trying to own the inside part of the plate.
1-0 pitch fouled off down the third base line, out of play. Braden Molesky, again, the second baseman, wears number 13 for the Ridgewood Generals. Bats from the right side with his Socks up high, the orange and brown showing below his pants. Henry, the 1-1 pitch, going to be in the dirt and blocked by the catcher. Going to make it 2-1 now to Molesky. The 2-1 pitch is going to be high and inside. Molesky gets out of the way of that one. It's going to bring up a 3-1 count now to Braden Molesky, the second baseman for the Ridgewood Generals. Henry, a fast worker, and it's going to be high and inside again as Molesky works a walk and gets on first base.
Gavin Henry walks the 9-hitter to bring the top of the lineup up. Not ideal for Tanyan Mccomb's troops there with walking the 9-hole hitter to come to the top of the lineup. And as Jordan said, Tingle, the leading batting average man for the Generals, coming up to the plate.
And we do flip back to the top of the order for the Ridgewood Generals. Gabe Tingle, he's 0 for 2 on the day. He has grounded out to first and popped out to second as Tingle tries to get the bunt down. As the runner takes off for second, Molesky, he gets in ahead of the throw, so that's going to go down as a stolen base for Molesky, as he is now at second base with nobody out, with Gabe Tingle at the plate, down in the count 0-1 as he missed the bunt attempt. We'll see if Tingle tries to advance Molesky to third now, or do they allow him to hit away? And he squares around a bunt, and he fouls that one off now. It's going to be 0-2 to Gabe Tingle.
Now Tingle's going to have to battle to get back in this at-bat, down 0-2. Couldn't get either bunt down. Got a runner in scoring position. We'll see if the junior can battle here and get something productive for the Generals.
That tells you a lot about that kid Tingle. He's leading the team in average and in about every stat offensively, and just put two bunt attempts down, try to move the runner.
Definite team player there for Gabe Tingle. We see that in all three sports that he plays. The 0-2 pitch now to Tingle. Going to be high and inside.
Hitting a lefty. We see him throw righty here in football, but hitting lefty today.
Yeah. I wonder if he's a natural left-handed hitter or if he taught himself how
Maybe
to hit
he's a switch hitter.
He may be a switch hitter. No, he batted left-handed against Enos.
Oh, he did. You're right.
So
good call.
1-2 now to the center fielder as he drives one deep to right field, and that's going to be out of play as Gabe Tingle gives one a ride.
That was a long strike there, Joe.
That was a very long strike over on the Little League field.
His hands are quick.
Oh, very quick.
Hard to get it inside there on him.
So the count remains 1-2 to the junior center fielder, Gabe Tingle. Wears number 2 like he does in all of his sports. Swing and a miss on strike 3 on an outside fastball. Gabe Tingle set down for out number 1 here in the top of the 4th inning.
Good pitch by Henry. He knew he couldn't give him anything to hit there and just left it outside the zone. Tingle had to protect and swung and missed at it.
He had no reason to throw one in the strike zone there.
Right.
Make them come get you, expand the zone a little bit.
First pitch to the number 2 hitter, Javen Belt, is outside and in the dirt. Nice job by the Braves catcher to block that one from going to the backstop, as Braden Molesky at second base getting a big lead, wanting to get to third in the worst way for the Generals here today with 1 out in the top of the 4th, as that ball is going to be driven between the shortstop and third baseman. They're going to say, nope, they hold him up at the last second as Trevor Myers comes in quick and gets the ball back into the infield, as now the Ridgewood Generals will have runners on first and third with 1 out.
They were going to send him there, but thought better of it as they come up with it pretty quick in the outfield. I think he would have been sitting duck there at home with a good throw.
Yeah. Good job by Indian Valley to get to the baseball there and get back in the infield.
Of course, Trevor Myers, the quarterback for the Indian Valley Braves football team this year. Myers, a senior. They will go with a different quarterback next year. Will the Braves. But 1 out here, 2 runners on, first and second. The ball gets all the way to the backstop, and here it comes Braden Molesky as he slides in head first, and Javen Belt heads on to second on the wild pitch. So another run for the Ridgewood Generals on the wild pitch as Braden Molesky scores from third base.
Tried to drop block that, but it went 5-hole all the way back there, and he scores from third and advances to second. 1 out and still a runner in scoring position for the Generals.
Like you said, Travis, 1 out, runner at second, 1-0 count as he drives the ball to left field as Trevor Myers fields it off the bat of Chase Booth Chase Booth doing a nice job here today. Chase 3 for 3 now on the day. Two singles and a double for the General shortstop.
Ridgewood couldn't score there. They had to wait and see if it got down before advancing, so they get to third. Indian Valley keeps the double play in possibility here with just one out.
Now batting for the Ridgewood Generals, number 9, Colin Smith, the third baseman. First pitch is going to be high and outside as Chase Booth takes off for second. That's going to be a runner indifference, not a stolen base. The Indian Valley Braves wanted no part of that. They wanted to keep the runner at third, and Javen Belt have him stay put as the 1-0 count comes inside.
Ooh,
and it hits Colin Smith in the right elbow, and he just flips his bat off to the dugout and takes his place at first base.
See, that's what you see out of linebackers, Joe. They just take it, They just take it and wear it, and they go down to first base. Bases loaded, one out here. Ridgewood threatening again, up 5-1.
What are you saying, linebackers are tough?
They're tough. They eat steel, man.
But I know a certain linebacker that can't even give infield to his little league and tears his bicep.
That one's falling apart, but he's still the guy on first base is still in his prime.
I got you. All right. Of course, if you don't know, Travis, linebacker in his day is at Dover, was coaching his son's pony league team, and unfortunately tore his tricep muscle. As Henry tries to pick off Javen Belt at third, and a good throw would have had him, but it bounces and short hops to third base as Belt is able to get in under the tag. Nice play put on there by the Indian Valley Braves.
Nice move. The Generals are looking for a Bach there, but I didn't see it. He was on that 45, it looked like to me.
The pitch swung on and missed by Andy Troyer, the pitcher for the Ridgewood Generals. Going to be 0-1 now with bases loaded, one out here in West Lafayette. Run already in on the day, on the inning. Braden Molesky scores from third base on a wild pitch. But the Generals load the bases here with one out. The pitcher trying to help himself out here as he gets the pitch and grounds it to shortstop. They flip on to second, try to get the double play back to first, and it gets past Cole Lancaster. And yet another run's going to score as Andy Troyer gets on to second base. So Javen Belt comes in to score on the play, and so does Chase Booth.
They got what they wanted there in Indian Valley. They were playing corners in for play at the plate, and middle was back for turn two. They got a routine ground ball to shortstop. They just couldn't execute it.
Seemed like it was a little bit of a slow turn, and then he had to rush a little bit. One hops the first baseman there. Lancaster couldn't quite come up with it. He goes all the way to the fence, gives up another run. 7-1 Generals.
Andy Troyer now on to second base as he gets on via the fielder's choice.
Great read there by Troyer. He saw the ball in the dirt outside and took off right away. Didn't wait. It didn't get that far away from the Braves catcher, but he took third anyway.
So Andy Troyer now on third base as the wild pitch by the pitcher as number 15, Braden Brickle, steps in and has a 2-0 count on him here on this at-bat.
Henry needs a strike in the worst way right here. He needs to settle down.
The 2-0 pitch, he gets a strike, but it is driven into the left field corner for a fair ball, and that's going to bring in Andy Troyer from third base as Braden Brickles gets to second with an RBI double, and the Generals now lead 7, make that 8-1.
Stand-up double there. When you get up in the count 2-0, you're going to see fastballs, and then you eat fastballs, and that's what happened there. One hopper to the fence, stand on second base with 2 outs.
You're the DH. That's what you're meant to do. That right there. Drive in runners.
Number 24, Curtis Varian, takes strike one from Gavin Henry. Varian on the day is 1 for 2. He has singled and scored, and he has flew out to left field for his other at-bat here in the ball game today. Again, 1-0 now, or 0-1 now, 1-1 as he takes ball one low.
Little curveball high there out of Henry there, 1-1.
So Braden Brickles on second base after an RBI double, RBI 2-out double, as that ball goes high and tight on Curtis Varian. Going to make the count 2-1 now to the left fielder for the Ridgewood Generals. I believe he played corner or safety in football.
Yeah, but, very good athlete there too.
Oh.
You see a lot of these guys playing multiple sports, and you've heard about their success through all of them here, and they're here still around playing baseball in the spring.
Yes, they are. As Varian takes ball 3 high, it's now 3-1 to the left fielder for the Ridgewood Generals. Gavin Henry needs a strike in the worst way, and he does not get it. Ball 4, as Curtis Varian is on to first base with a walk.
Wonder what Coach McComb's thinking right here. His pitcher's got 40 pitches on the day. I think he's going to have to make a change.
McComb taking that slow walk to the mound here as he calls time. The infielders meeting him at the mound here in West Lafayette. McComb taking that slow walk. And that's actually pitching. That's Jamie Bircher actually walking out to talk to his pitcher Gavin Henry.
Little meeting of the minds, trying to settle things down before it gets way out of control here, with Ridgewood putting up 2 4 spots, one in the second, one in the fourth. So on even number innings, they're putting runners across the plate.
What are you saying to your pitcher right now, Chris, if you're walking out there talking to him?
Well, what I think you're probably telling him is, hey, we need strikes. We got to get out of here at 8-1. Just start make defense plays. Don't get so deep into fastball counts. You got to win strike 1.
Yep. Great advice.
High school baseball action from West Lafayette. Joe Geckler, Travis McClellan, Jordan Hartzler, 8-1 here in the top of the 4th inning, as number 23 Curtis Varian fouls off the first pitch. Now 0-1. Runners on first and second. I'm sorry, that's Keegan Millender, not Varian. Varian walked. That's my apologies. Thanks for the help on that, Jordan. As the Generals now have runners on first and second. That ball is going to be outside.
Warrior's been on the sidelines for a while. Yes, he's hitting, but he's been on the sidelines for a while. Has the Generals pitcher. You wonder if he's going to come back out.
1-1 pitch taken, strike 2 to the left fielder for the Ridgewood Generals, Keegan Millender. Now 1-2 count to Keegan Millender. 4 runs in here in the inning. The Generals lead the Indian Valley Braves 8-1, top of the 4th inning here in West Lafayette. The 1-2 pitch taken, ball 2 just high, signaled by the home plate umpire.
This is what I call the out pitch, Joe, at 2-2. You either got to have a striker make him hit it. You don't want to go full count because they know fastball's coming. And I believe Millender's 1 for 2 on the day with a base hit.
2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. And that'll do it here for the top of the 4th inning. The Ridgewood Generals, they put 4 more runs on the board to take a decisive lead of 8-1 over the Indian Valley Braves. Back with the bottom of the 4th after this. You're listening to High School Baseball, thanks to Stocker Concrete, Big Z Sports, and Claxon Communications. Back after this.
PAC Drilling, a family-owned and operated company since 2005 in Bolivar, takes pride in being an economic oil and gas drilling company. PAC's objective is to contribute to American energy independence through profitable development, operation, and marketing of oil and natural gas wells. PAC also employs operating technicians to oversee each and every well drilled to maximize its productivity and longevity. Contact PAC Drilling at pacdrilling.com.
You found it. Big Z Sports on 99.9 WTUZ.
High school baseball with Big Z Sports, Claxon Communications, and Stocker Concrete. Joe Geckler, Travis McClellan, Jordan Hartzler. Bottom of the 4th inning, the Ridgewood Generals lead Indian Valley 8-1.
8-1. What a good ball game here. But what about the facility, Joe? The grass is, the field is immaculate. The press box is good. Kudos to the Generals here. And speaking of good facilities, Indian Valley getting their new field up there. That's why they're the home team down here tonight. Brand new facility, turf going in up there on their baseball field for the Indian Valley Braves.
Yeah, for sure. Beautiful facilities here in West Lafayette, of course. We see the football facility a lot in the fall. And the grass just as beautiful here in the baseball diamond as it is on the football field for the Generals. As the first pitch to number 10, Trevor Myers, is going to be outside, ball number 1. Again, bottom of the 4th inning. Ridgewood leads Indian Valley 8-1 after they put 4 runs up in the top of the 4th inning. Ball 2 outside to Trevor Myers. Andy Troyer still on the hill for the Ridgewood Generals here today. He's about 50 pitches in. 2-0 count. It's going to be strike number 1 right down the middle. to Trevor Myers of the Indian Valley Braves. Myers on the day is 1 for 1. He doubled on his last at bat. And the 1-1 pitch fouled off and out of play. I'm sorry, the 2-1 pitch fouled off out of play. Now make that 2-2 to the senior left fielder for the Indian Valley Braves, Trevor Myers. The 2-2 pitch now from Andy Troyer. Just outside, says the home plate umpire. Full count now for the Braves. Left fielder.
The Braves desperately need runners anyway here. Walker hit. They got to put some runners on the bags, get them occupied.
The Braves working the count now from Andy Troyer, the payoff pitch. It's going to be ball 4 outside as Trevor Myers works the walk to lead off the inning.
Good at bat there by Myers. He was there at 2-2 and fouled one off, battled, got the walk. First, you get your first runner on, anything can happen here.
That's going to bring in 19 Cale Coachman, the second baseman for the Indian Valley Braves, as Trevor Myers now leads off first after a walk. The first pitch going to be ball outside. 1-0 to Cale Coachman, who flew out to Gabe Tingle in center field back in the second inning.
Coachman, your 7-hole hitter after the walk there to Myers. You want him to see a few pitches, I would assume. Does Tanyan Mccomb there. He takes the first pitch outside ball. He's up in the count, ready to go. That causes a mound visit by the Generals.
So the Generals infield, they meet at the mound to talk about what they want to do with Trevor Myers and maybe settle the pitcher down just a little bit. He went full on Trevor Myers, ended up walking him, and now he misses on the first pitch to Cale Coachman. Does Andy Troyer. Andy's pitched a great game here today. Looks like he's about 56 pitches in to the game here, bottom of the fourth inning.
Still lots of life there.
Oh, lots of life. Have only given up one run here today, and that was in the last inning. Myers gets a big lead, takes off for second base, and he fires down, does Troyer, and he is going to get second base on the stolen base by Trevor Myers. Aiden Troyer with a nice throw, but Myers just a little quick for the catcher for the Ridgewood Generals. Aiden Troyer now runner on second, nobody out. And the count now 1-1 to Coachman. Going to be ball high on the fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Cale Coachman for the Indian Valley Braves. Beautiful day here in West Lafayette. The wind is blowing right to left. The sun is out. A beautiful day for some high school baseball here in Ohio as the ball gets away from Troyer here at home plate. And Myers will move on up to third base on the wild pitch.
Yeah, wild pitch, or that can almost go as a pass ball there for Troyer. He didn't try to drop block it, tried to glove it there, and it gets by the background. The other Troyer part of the battery, he's down again in the count. Both batters this inning, he's been down.
3-1 pitch, and it's going to be driven out to second base. Takes a nice hop for the second baseman as he flips on to Javen Belt, does Braden Molesky. But Trevor Myers scores from third base to make the score Ridgewood 8, Indian Valley 2. With 1 out now here in the bottom of the fourth inning.
A little Sunday hop there for Molesky at second base, but a productive out, gets a run across the board for the Braves.
So that's going to bring up number 12, Samuel Zerker, as he struck out swinging on his last at bat in the second inning. Troyer's first pitch to him, high, ball number 1. Again, bottom of the fourth inning here in West Lafayette, Ridgewood 8. Indian Valley 2, Joe Geckler, Travis McClellan, Jordan Hartzler with high school baseball play-by-play action. As Aiden Troyer is missing high and inside to the number 8 hitter, Samuel Zerker.
Joe, Jordan, do you think, like I mentioned, sitting in the dugout in that big inning did something to Troyer? He's been behind every batter this inning so far.
It could be for sure. Get his arm a little cold, trying to get it loosened back up. These kids are throwing hard today. Beautiful day for high school baseball as Andy Troyer gets a strike and another one there. Now moves the count back to even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He's doing a good job just going right after Zerker. I bet that's what Coach Laney told him. He said just go right after him and compete with him, and he's thrown 3 fastballs there in a row.
The 2-2 pitch, strike 3 on the outside corner as Andy Troyer comes back to strike out Samuel Zerker for the second time here today. This is the first time looking. He got Zerker swinging back in the second inning for out number 2 now here in the bottom of the fourth inning. 2 outs, 1 run in for the Indian Valley Braves, and that brings up number 5, Tanyan Mccomb for the Indian Valley Braves. Mccomb grounded out to the shortstop, his last at bat, as he fouls off the first pitch. 0-1 now to the Indian Valley Braves, number 9 hitter Tanyan Mccomb.
Just like that, Troyer looks like he's settled down back in his groove.
Little rest there in the dugout in that big 4-run inning, but Troyer now gets another strike called on that outside corner. He is living out on the black. Is Andy Troyer today. 0-2 count now to Tanyan Mccomb. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 0-2 pitch. Just outside. He went a little bit farther outside, and the umpire said, nope, not going to give you that one.
Great patience by Tanyan.
Oh.
Sorry, Joe, but great patience. That was a big pitch right there to take.
1-2 pitch, going to be high and inside. McComb gets the count back to even now at 2-2.
2-2, battling that. But if you, like you said, living on the black, if you live in the middle of the plate, you're not going to pitch long at high-level high school baseball because they will jump it.
2-2 pitch. Ooh, just misses on the outside corner again, does Andy Troyer. He wanted that pitch. He took a step towards his dugout, and the umpire said, nope. Ball number 3, going to be a full count now to Tanyan Mccomb. The payoff pitch from Troyer. Going to be driven out to left field for Millender. Millender having trouble with it with that wind. That wind is wreaking havoc out there for Millender in left field here today. That ball gets over his head for a 2-out double by Tanyan Mccomb.
Great piece of hitting there by Tanyan Mccomb. He found himself down 0-2, and he showed a lot of patience there and got a good pitch to swing on. A lot of times guys will give up in that situation, just close their eyes and swing as hard as they can. He showed a lot of maturity there for a freshman.
Millender out in that wind and left, Joe. It turned him around. The ball crossed over his head, opened him up, got over his head, one hopper to the wall. Mccomb on second with 2 outs.
That's going to bring up leadoff hitter for the Indian Valley Braves. That's Gavin Henry. He wears number 21 today. He is 0-2. He popped out to the first baseman and flew out. Millender comes up on it, has trouble, and it gets away from him, and that's going to allow Tanyan Mccomb to score all the way from second. An RBI single for Gavin Henry on the play. Gets another run across for the Indian Valley Braves to make it now 8-3 Ridgewood here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
It's a game of inches. Troyer wanted that strike 3 on Mccomb there on the outside of the black. Didn't get the call. Mccomb fights back, gets the double, then gives up a base hit. You got an RBI, you got a run on the board for the Braves.
So that's going to bring up number 15, Rafe Bonifay, been on base both times today as Henry takes off the throw to second again, just late as Gavin Henry slides in head first and steals the bag. Now he is in scoring position with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Ridgewood leads Indian Valley 8-3. Indian Valley's put 2 runs on the scoreboard here in the bottom of the 4th inning. It's going to be a ball high to Rafe Bonifay to move the count to 2 balls and no strikes to Rafe Bonifay, who has singled and walked here today, has scored 1 of the 3 runs as he fouls off ball 2 to make it strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike to Indian Valley hitter Rafe Bonifay. Gavin Henry on second after he singles and steals second, does the sophomore Gavin Henry. Andy Troyer gets the sign that he wants, pauses and pitches, and that ball is going to be driven out to deep left field as Millender takes a shot and runs into the fence as he's going for the ball, and it looks like he is okay. Keegan Millender giving a 110% effort there, guys. He is really struggling. That ball gets up in the wind out there as you can look out to center field and see the flag. That's a big flag out there, and it's pretty much standing on end, guys. A lot of wind here today in West Lafayette.
Millender there and ran full speed into the fence there. He seems to be okay, but he hit so hard he lost his hat over the fence. Great effort there by the left fielder. I'm surprised he didn't
go up and over the fence when he hit it. He hit it pretty hard, did Keegan Millender. But Andy Troyer's run the count back now to 2-2 to Rafe Bonifay. The 2-2 pitch going to be high and inside. Runs the count full now to Rafe Bonifay, the center fielder for the Indian Valley Braves. 2 runs in here for Indian Valley to cut the Ridgewood lead to 8-3. Full count pitch. swung on and popped up back behind us here in the press box. I don't think if there was a roof, we might have been able to.
Might have
if there
had
wasn't
a shot.
roof. Yeah, well, you can catch left. You catch left-handed.
That's right. Might have had a shot.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, the Braves get a single here. They cut the lead in half from the Generals, and you think they just put up a 4 spot on you to battle back and get runs. Shows the mettle of the Indian Valley Braves.
The payoff pitch by Troyer is going to be swung on and driven to left field. Millender underneath it. That's going to be a can of corn and out number 3 for the Ridgewood Generals. But 2 runs come across for the Indian Valley Braves, and the Ridgewood Generals now lead Indian Valley 8-3. Back to West Lafayette for the top of the 5th inning. You're listening to High School Baseball with Big Z Sports, Claxon Communications, and Stocker Concrete. Back after this.
Hey there, sports fans. When it comes to taking care of the vehicle that transports your team, you expect it to be done with speed and accuracy. This is Phil Miller from the Parkway Quick Lane. When it comes to servicing your team's vehicle, let my team at Parkway Quick Lane deliver you the winning combination to keep your vehicle on the road and safe. If your vehicle needs to get off the sideline and back in the game, visit the Parkway Quick Lane for your next service appointment.
Now, back to Big Z Sports on 99.9.
High School Baseball with Big Z Sports, Claxon Communications, and Stocker Concrete. Joe Geckler, Travis McClellan, Jordan Hartzler live in West Lafayette. We're on the top of the 5th inning. The Ridgewood Generals lead Indian Valley 8-3. Folks, if you want to subscribe to our Big Z Sports YouTube channel, go out to YouTube, WTUZ Big Z Sports on YouTube. You can subscribe and watch a lot of the live video streams that we are doing, thanks to Claxton Communications, and doing a great job here today, as always, is Casey and his crew. Of course, Greg Perkins here as well, with providing video and the audio, of course, for our live stream. Big thanks to Stocker Concrete for that. Of course, Amici's Pizza, Hartzler's Quality Housing, and so much more. We can't do it without our great sponsors here in the Tuscarawas County area and surrounding areas, as we're in Coshocton County today in West Lafayette. Ridgewood and Indian Valley. Indian Valley, the home team here in West Lafayette, of course. Indian Valley, their field is not yet done, as looks like we have a new catcher, or a pitcher in for the Indian Valley Braves. We saw him catching earlier in the game. Guess what? He's going to say, I'm taking the hill now, as Tanyan Mccomb is on to pitch for the Indian Valley Braves, as Gavin Henry does a nice job, gives up 4 runs, but comes in relief of Kyle Enos, as now Tanyan Mccomb takes the hill for the Indian Valley Braves.
See if Molesky here can get it going. He started last inning with a good at bat. Let's see what this matchup looks like between him and the freshman.
So Molesky steps in, takes strike number 1 from Tanyan Mccomb, and he is behind now in the count, 0-1.
If I remember right, Molesky walked to start the inning last time, the 9-hole hitter, to bring Gabe Tingle up, and he's been very productive today.
Right. The 0-1 pitch, as Molesky drives it out to center field. That's going to fall for a base hit right in front of number 24.
Brogan
Bircher in center field now for the Indian Valley Braves, as Braden Molesky.
That just fell out into the Bermuda Triangle. No one could get there. Blue pit, but in the scorebook, it might as well go down as a rocket, because it means the same. You're on first.
That's going to bring up the Ridgewood leadoff hitter, and that's going to be Gabe Tingle, as Molesky again takes off for second and swipes the bag. Braden Molesky with another stolen base here today.
Tingle squared the bunt again, didn't like it, pulled it back, gets the ball.
That's 2 stolen bases now on the day for Molesky, as he gets in scoring position with no outs with the Generals leadoff hitter, Gabe Tingle. He swings away and lines it down the first base line, just foul, out of the reach of Cole Lancaster at first base. Evens the count now to 1-1.
I'm telling you, you don't want to go to the inner third on Tingle. His hands are so quick. He turns on that baseball and puts something into it there. That was almost on his fist, but he quick hands, turns around and gets a foul ball there. But he's devastating with those quick hands on the inner third.
Tingle 0 for 3 on the day. Takes the 1-1 pitch, grounds it to second baseman and that's going to get the runner over to third. Gabe Tingle does his job and gets the runner over to third base with one out.
One out, just need a fly ball.
Yep,
good
for the
job
Ridgewood
by
Generals.
good job by the freshman pitcher there. That was a big matchup for him. He had to have that out. So good job, him getting that ground ball.
Tingle did the job, get the ball over to the second baseman, let the runner get up to third base as Indian Valley brings their infield in now. As Javen Belt is going to pop it up in foul territory.
Ooh, what a collision.
And it is a collision between Lancaster
that's bad.
and the catcher for the Indian Valley Braves. The ball falls here at the turf for Indian Valley. We have two guys down here at Indian Valley. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll come back and let the players be attended to, but we'll come back after this. You're listening to High School Baseball with Big Z Sports, Stockard Concrete, and, of course, Claxon Communications back after this.
Claxon Custom Printing and Promotions is a proud supporter of high school athletics.
Contact Casey Claxon or Judd Bone at claxonprinting.com for printed t-shirts, embroidery, and branded promotional products for your booster club or business.
We can also help your team set up an online fundraising store to sell your team apparel to fans across the country.
Visit claxonprinting.com or call 740-623-2145.
Powered by Purpose at Kent State University, Tuscarawas. Kent State Tusk offers over 30 bachelor's and associate degrees. We have over a dozen athletic programs, including basketball and volleyball. Student life is diverse with over 20 extracurricular student clubs. Our nursing and technology programs are some of the most sought after in the area. Staying local is the most cost-effective way of obtaining your degree. Define your own success. Powered by Purpose at Kent State University, Tuscarawas.
The First National Bank of Denison appreciates the hard work and dedication area athletes exhibit to be the best they can be for their team. We follow that same philosophy with our customers, working hard to build personal relationships and making our services convenient. The First National Bank of Denison's community involvement is important to us, and we love supporting our local schools. The First National Bank of Denison, with offices in Denison, Dover, Janayton Hutton, South Broadway, and Schunbrunn in New Philadelphia. We have our roots where others have their branches. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If you're planning a major concrete project, you need the help of Stocker Concrete Company. From precast concrete products to ready-mix concrete, sand, gravel, limestone, and concrete block, the professionals at Stocker Concrete can help you get started and keep you on the path to completion using the best materials you can find. Stocker Concrete is the concrete material provider you can count on. See them at 7574 Route 36, Janayton Hutton, or call 740-254-4626. Pizza is most everyone's favorite, and you have plenty of choices. But there's just something different about a pizza from Amici's Pizza in West Lafayette. Amici's Pizza takes pizza to an all-new level. You can get a traditional Italian pizza or try one of their delicious specialty pizzas. And everything from the dough to the sauce is made fresh daily. It doesn't get any better than Amici's Pizza, Kirk Street, West Lafayette. Big city taste for a small town price.
Wood Electric has been trusted with all of your electrical needs for over 30 years. They are the place to call for residential, commercial, and industrial work. Wood Electric is available 24 hours a day and ready to help with any electrical problem, outage, or installation. Wood Electric, serving Tuscarawas County and beyond since 1988. Like Wood Electric on Facebook or find them online at woodelectric.net.
Now, back to Big Z Sports on 99.9.
Welcome back to West Lafayette as we had a break in the action for a couple of injured Indian Valley players. I know one of them was Cole Lancaster. We're trying to get the number on the catcher for the Braves, but they both have been taken out of the game. I think they walked off under their own power, guys, but I think they're going to be okay. But a nasty collision, Travis.
Yeah, and like Jordan and I were talking about in the break, it's the wind that really plays with that ball. That ball looked like it was about midway back on the dugout there on first base side. The wind blew it back in play. Lancaster and the catcher just going full bore, eyes in the air, didn't really see each other, and just what a collision, what a train wreck there. Just glad to see both kids up, moving under their own power.
I agree. As Javen Belt was at bat for the Ridgewood Generals, he's going to have an 0-1 count as he fouled off the ball. And to kind of recap what happened, guys, Javen Belt came up after Braden Molesky stole second and got over to third on a wild pitch. Javen Belt popped it up, and both the catcher and the first baseman, one of them, Cole Lancaster, going after the ball. And it was a kind of a nasty collision that you don't want to see happen in baseball. Football, it probably would have been okay, but with all the equipment on, it still would have been an ugly collision in football. But baseball, you have no protective gear on, and you run head first and not see anybody. Can end up being a nasty collision. That is number 15. That's Rafe Bonifay, who was shaken up, was shaking his head and looking like
Cole Lancaster.
Looks like Cole Lancaster is going to shake off the cobwebs, and he's going to go in behind the plate for the Indian Valley Braves, as Rafe Bonifay has been taken out as catcher. Lancaster now in as the catcher. The Ridgewood Generals are going to they're going to take him. They're going to let Lancaster take a few pitches behind the plate.
You hate to see that, and two young men there, and they're probably going to have to go get that young man looked at there and make sure concussion and things of that nature. You just hope and pray for the best there with what happened, and it's just two players trying to make a play, and unfortunately bad things happen, and that was a hit between both players. Like I said before, a train wreck. That was a solid shot from both guys.
You don't want to see that. And Jordan, I know you've been around baseball all your life, and I took a shot like that in Little League. To me and a teammate were going after a ball, and you lay there for a while and you just don't know what happened. You get up and like, man, I cannot believe that happened. But those are scary situations.
Right, scary moments. Tough play right there. Both guys just going after a baseball that was getting blown back in play. We hope that both of them are okay. Looks like Cole's going to be all right as he settles in and goes to work here behind the plate as a catcher. Let's see what the freshman can do up here on the mound now.
Tanyan Mccomb back up on the hill for the Indian Valley Braves. Cole Lancaster now the catcher for the Indian Valley Braves as Javen Belt steps in behind in the count, and he takes a shot off of his left shoulder, does Javen Belt, and he is hit by a pitch as he now gets to first base.
First and third for the third hitter coming up, Chase Booth for the Generals.
Chase Booth been on fire here today. Chase has doubled, singled, and singled again, scored a run. As Chase Booth, the shortstop for the Ridgewood Generals, has a duck on the pond here at third, and that is Braden Molesky, and of course Javen Belt on at first. Look for Javen to take off here, as Tanyan Mccomb thought the same thing as he steps off and gets Belt to go back to first base. But Belt gets a huge 5-6 step lead here. As you can tell, he's going to take off running up, and then Mccomb fakes to first base and turns back to third to try to get the old switcheroo on the third base.
If you step off behind the mound, you're allowed to fake. You don't have to throw to first or third.
Bottom of the fourth inning here, Ridgewood leads Indian Valley 8-3 here in West Lafayette. Two runners on as Belt takes off for second base, and he is in at second base.
Good pitch to steal on, curveball in the dirt there. Nice pitch to take on second and third with only one out here. Chase, the red hot Chase Booth at the plate.
Chase Booth 3 for 3 on the day with two ducks on the pond now as Belt and Molesky at second and third respectively.
Indian Valley's going to play at the plate here as they got the infield on the grass, looking to cut down this run. They know how important it is not let this game get out of hand with an 8-3 ball game right now.
Good call there, Jordan. 2 balls and no strikes. Runners inside, so I can put it in left field, is what Booth is saying to himself. A 2-1 pitch from Mccomb is going to be missed inside. Wow, the Ridgewood hitters are very patient in the batter's box, and they don't bail out too many pitches unless it's coming hard and high at their head. But it's going to be a 3-1 count now to Chase Booth, the 3-1 pitch from Mccomb, and it's going to be swung on and popped up again in foul 2 of the inning, and Parsons helps out his pitcher, gets it in.
Cole Lancaster, the catcher, still shaking off his arm there from that collision, so he's not 100%. He's just gutting it out there. That's
tough kid. That's what you want out of your catcher, though. You want
gotta
a gamer.
have a dog back there.
So now you have 2 outs, 2 runners on. A runner's on second and third as your 4-hitter Colin Smith steps into the plate as he takes the first pitch just outside for ball number 1. Colin on the day is 0 for 3. He's flown out to right field twice, and he grounded out to the shortstop back in the 4th inning. And that ball is going to be fouled out of play for strike number 1.
Well, I feel like Colin's in a real big spot here. I feel like he's just missed all day in a couple of those swings. Let's see if he can do some damage to the baseball right now.
I'll say this about Mccomb. He's a freshman out there on a bump, and this is a big spot. But he's played some high-level travel baseball in his time. He's used to these types of situations.
As Smith takes the ball outside for ball number 2. 2-1 now the count to Colin Smith, third baseman for the Ridgewood Generals. Of course, middle linebacker for the football team here in West Lafayette. Bats it from the left side. The 2-1 pitch is going to be dribbled down to first base. And the first baseman for the Indian Valley Braves fields it, steps on it at first, and that's going to end it here in the top of the 5th inning. No runs on a couple of hits. And 2 runners left. Back after this, you're listening to High School Baseball. Thanks to Claxon Communications, Stocker Concrete, and Big Z Sports. Back after this.
At Gillen Body Shop, they know that when their business is needed, it's never planned, and that can cause you quite the inconvenience. That's why Gillen Body Shop makes the process as easy as possible for you by making sure the work is completed right the first time. And Gillen Body Shop's experienced staff gives all completed work a 100% guarantee. So when those unplanned repairs to your vehicle are needed, there's only one choice. Gilland Body Shop on Cary Avenue in New Philly, or find them on Facebook.
Now, back to Big Z Sports on 99.9.
Welcome back to Ridgewood High School for today's high school baseball action between the Ridgewood Generals and Indian Valley Braves with Big Z Sports, Claxon Communications, and Stocker Concrete. Bottom of the 5th inning, Ridgewood leads Indian Valley 8-3. Joe Geckler, Travis McClellan, Jordan Hartzler here with all the action, again, for Big Z Sports. Thanks to Claxon Communications and Stocker Concrete. Of course, Hartzler's Quality Housing, Amici's Pizza, First National Bank of Denison, and all of our sponsors here today and all season for high school softball and baseball. Again, in the bottom of the 5th inning, the Ridgewood Generals lead the Indian Valley Braves 8-3. And coming up to lead off in the inning is the 3-hitter, the 4-hitter, and the 5-hitter, Cole Lancaster, Brady Parsons, and Grant Schutte for the Indian Valley Braves. Lancaster on the day is 1 for 2. He swings and misses on a high fastball just out of the strike zone, and Lancaster falls behind 0-1.
He's gutting it out, but it hurts him to swing anything with that left arm there, and you got to think a big, strong, tough guy like Lancaster there. It's got to be bad.
The 0-1 pitch ground to the shortstop, and he flips it on to first base. Does Chase Booth as Javen Belt takes it, flips back to the catcher for out number 1 as Cole Lancaster grounds out to the shortstop.
You know, really, that's a one-handed swing there by him, and he's holding his arm on the way back here, and, you hope that he's okay. And Indian Valley coming here with their meat of their lineup coming up. They want to get some production here if they want to get back in this baseball game.
Braden Parsons now steps in for the Indian Valley Braves as Andy Troyer fires the first pitch just outside, ball 1 to the number 4 hitter, Braden Parsons. He is 0 for 1 on the day. He has walked, and he has flown out to right field as he swings and misses on the 1-0 pitch to even the count to 1-1.
Parsons made that great play over by the fence, out of play last inning from third base on the top end of this inning.
The 1-1 pitch from Troyer is going to be swung on and driven to center field just in front of center fielder Gabe Tingle for the Ridgewood Generals as Braden Parsons singles to center field with 1 out. Runner now on first base as Grant Schutte steps in, batting 0 for 2 on the day. He popped out to the first baseman and has flown out to left field today.
Schutte, one of the 3 seniors here for the Braves tonight.
Parsons gets a big lead, and Troyer fires a ball outside as Aiden Troyer then fires it down to first base, and Javen Belt does a nice job of grabbing that ball high out of the air. Elevated there did number 8, Javen Belt, to save that ball from going into right field as they try to get Braden Parsons sleeping at first base, but he gets back. As Schutte lays, so that goes as
a really good first baseman that saves runs and errors, and that's what Javen Belt's done today.
So 2 outs now here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 8-3, Ridgewood leads Indian Valley as Braden Parsons is on at second base after he singled and got to second on a sacrifice bunt. Trevor Meyer steps in and fouls off the first pitch from Andy Troyer to make the count 0-1.
You know, you like to see when you were coming into this inning, you had 3, 4, 5 coming up. You want your run production there, your battery to produce here. The Braves need a good 2-out hit by Myers if they want to put something on the board.
0-1 count here to Trevor Myers. 2 outs here in the inning, bottom of the 5th. Ridgewood 8, Indian Valley 3. As Troyer steps by Trevor Myers, going to bring the count now to 0-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th.
0-2, look for Troyer to widen the strike zone or throw a curveball in the dirt, something out of the strike zone here.
In West Communications. And, of course, Big Z Sport at the bottom of the 5th. 8-4, Ridgewood leads Indy. What a nice stolen base there from Trevor Myers.
Super aggressive out of the Braves.
Super, yeah.
They get a runner on first. It's almost an auto.
The 0-1 pitch from Troyer. Going to be high, ball 1.
Troyer's just got a little hesitation in his delivery there. You want to see a kid make a slide step or adjust your flow, adjust your speed from the mound to stop those runners from advancing.
Troyer gets aside as Myers takes off for
Great
third.
Great jump, no throw.
Oh, yeah, good job. He stole that on the pitcher. Did Trevor Myers. That's stolen base number 3 on the day for Myers, as Cale Coachman now has the count in his favor at 2 balls and 1 strike. Coachman has an RBI as he grounded out to second his last time up. Now he grounds to first base, and it's going to be played by Javen Belt, and nice job by Andy Troyer to get over to cover first base, or that would have been a base hit or an error on the first base. With Big Z Sports, Claxon Communications, and Stocker Concrete, Joe Geckler, Travis McClellan, Jordan Hartzler in the top of the 6th inning. The Ridgewood Generals lead the Indian Valley Braves 8-4.
The Braves here are going to make some defensive substitution. McCombs goes back behind the plate. Pitching now for the Braves is Cale Coachman. At third moves Carter Baker, the senior. And from third to left is number 22, Braden Parsons. The Braves moving some people around here. Gavin Henry goes back to shortstop. They are trying to puzzle this together to battle back in. And the Ridgewood Generals apparently only score an even number of innings. So maybe this is their inning here as they put 4 in the 2nd, 4 in the 4th. And we're at the top of the 6th here.
Top of the 6th inning, and we've heard this number called a lot here today. Andy Troyer leads off the top of the 6th inning. He's led off a couple of other innings, and those are the scoring innings for the Ridgewood Generals. He led off the 2nd. They scored 4 runs. He led off the 3rd, and they didn't score in that inning, but then the following inning, he batted in that inning as well, and they scored 4 more runs. So Andy Troyer, the pitcher, starts off the inning with a hard line drive base hit to left field. Andy Troyer, another hit here today for the Ridgewood Generals.
First pitch fastball, Joe, and he took advantage of it. No time wasted. New pitcher in, saw it, ate it.
Andy Troyer now 2 for 3 on the day. Been on base all 4 times. He reached on an error back in the 3rd inning. But Andy Troyer doing it at the plate and on the mound here today for the Generals. Coachman's first pitch swung on, or the bunt attempt by number 15, Braden Brickles, and he called ball one as he pulled back. As McComb now back at catcher, tried to fire down and get Andy Troyer at first, and he got in under the tag of J.D. Lancaster. The 1-0 pitch now from Coachman, going to be low and outside, ball 2.
You notice that Cole Lancaster's not in the game right now, and so you hope he's okay too, but his brother J.D.'s down there taking over first base.
2-0 count to Braden Brickles as the fastball comes in and is lofted out to center field. A can of corn there for the center fielder for the Indian Valley Braves, and he catches it and records out number 1 here in the top of the 6th inning.
Top of the 6th, one out. You got number 24 coming to the plate for the Indian Valley Rays. Curtis Varian made that nice throw from third a couple innings back.
Curtis Varian steps in today. He is batting 1 for 2 with a walk, and he has scored a run as Coachman fires over to first base to try to get Andy Troyer a little bit closer. Doesn't like the lead that he's getting here. Good 3, 4, 5 steps off against Coachman. Mccomb has a good arm behind the plate as he goes, and he is going to get out at second base as Andy Troyer with an awkward slide trying to steal second as he is gunned down at second base by Tanyan Mccomb. The out goes 2-6
Nice
for the second out of the inning.
Nice job with the tag there by Gavin Henry. Ball on the third base side of second base. He snatches it, snap tags, and gets him as he's sliding in.
As Millender still at the Curtis Varian still at the plate for the Generals. He takes a ball low for ball number 3. Hitters count here 3-0 guys up 8-4. Probably going to be taking here, I would only assume, with nobody on. Try to work out a 2-out walk here. And that's exactly what he does. Taken all the way is Curtis Varian. He draws the walk. And now Varian on first with 2 outs. And number 23, Keegan Millender, steps in. Millender on the day is 1 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, 1 looking and 1 swinging. Has an RBI and has scored a run, has Keegan Millender. The first pitch fouled down the third base line, out of play, strike 1.
Two outs here. The Ridgewood's trying to get going with 2. They got a runner on first. Let's see if the Braves can hold them off here.
The 0-1 pitch from Coachman, high, ball number 1.
Little hanger on the curveball there. Didn't quite get the bite he wanted out of that. Misses high.
Keegan Millender at the plate again for the Ridgewood Generals. Ball outside, 2-1. To the left fielder for the Ridgewood Generals. Just got an update on Cole Lancaster. His father, Matt, said he thinks Cole's going to be fine. Just a precautionary thing to take him out of the game today. He said he appreciates us checking in on him, but Cole looks like he's going to be okay.
That's good news.
It's great news.
3-1 now to Keegan Millender. Takes strike 2 called. Runs the count full with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. The Ridgewood Generals lead Indian Valley 8-4 here in West Lafayette. The payoff pitch. Runners move. Ball 4 high. Millender draws the walk. Now we'll have runners on first and second with 2 outs. Bringing up Braden Molesky, the second baseman for the Ridgewood Generals, who is 2 for 2 on the day with 2 stolen bases. He scored a run, and he's also walked. Has the number 9 hitter, number 13, Braden Molesky, the second baseman for the Ridgewood Generals. The first pitch taken, strike 1, right down the middle.
Coachman pounding the strike zone here, getting up early and in control. That's what you like to see.
Again, top of the 6th inning, 0-1 count here to Braden Molesky. The second baseman for the Generals takes ball low, down and away from Coachman. Runs the count even to 1-1. 2 runners on, runners at first and second. You have Varian and Millender on the base paths for the Generals. Coachman's 1-1 pitch outside, ball 2.
2-1. Good patience by the General hitters here in the last couple at bats here. They're up here 2-1 with 2 outs. Base hit, scores a run.
The 2-1 count now, looking strike number 2 to Braden Molesky.
If you're the Braves, that's what you need out of your pitcher. He's just got to go compete in the zone and keep the ball in and go after the hitters.
2-2 pitch. Molesky swings and pops it up. Again, the wind wreaking havoc as the third baseman. That's going to be number 35.
Carter Baker.
Carter Baker with a nice catch. It gets the Braves out of the inning. No damage done. No runs scored, 2 runners left on for the Ridgewood Generals. Back to the bottom of the 6th inning after this. You're listening to high school baseball thanks to Stocker Concrete, Claxon Communications, and Big Z Sports. Back after this.
Buying a home has never been so affordable with record low interest rates. Hartzler's Quality Housing is ready to put over 40 years of experience to work for you. Family owned and operated since 1978, Hartzler's has a wide selection of model homes on site with a knowledgeable team to help make your new home a reality. Open 6 days a week. Visit them off I-77 in Dover or online at hartzlers.com. Hartzler's Quality Housing. Quality from start to finish.
You're with Big Z Sports on 99.9 WTUZ.
Welcome back to West Lafayette High School Baseball. Ridgewood and Indian Valley. Joe Geckler, Travis McClellan, Jordan Hartzler. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Generals lead 8-4, and on to pitch for the Ridgewood Generals, number 2, Gabe Tingle.
Tingle, three-sport athlete here.
He
Football,
is.
Quarterback, plays basketball and plays baseball here for the Diamond Generals, if you will.
He is the quarterback, the point guard, the center fielder, the pitcher, the water boy, everything for the
He's
Generals.
right in the middle of things, let's say.
He is. Right in the middle of everything is Gabe Tingle, just like he likes it. Of course, nice to see him back out competing.
The junior.
Competing here in basketball and, of course, baseball this spring after the nasty shot that he took in the Wheelersburg game in the playoffs back in November. Forced him to miss that game against Ironton. And, of course, the Generals season ended there. But Tingle back out here on the diamond for the Generals. The first pitch to the Indian Valley Braves. Leadoff hitter number 24. That's going to be Brogan Bircher as he comes in and bats for Samuel Zerker. The 1-0 pitch now, 1-1.
Tingle throwing from the stretch, not using the windup right now.
The 1-1 pitch from Tingle. Going to be low and inside in the dirt. Nice job by Aiden Troyer to block the low fastball from Gabe Tingle. The count now 2-1 to Brogan Bircher. And for Samuel Zerker today, in the bottom of the 6th inning, Ridgewood leads 8-4. Tingle gets a sign, pauses, and pitches. Again, low in the dirt. Tingle, all 3 fastballs have been low in the dirt. Aiden Troyer doing a nice job blocking those baseballs from going to the backstop. Going to be 3-1 now to Bircher. Bircher's first at bat of the ball game came in for Samuel Zerker and promptly works a walk. Does Brogan Bircher off the arm of Gabe Tingle. So Tingle walks the first hitter he's faced here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Nobody out. Bircher at first now. Tanyan Mccomb in to bat for the Indian Valley Braves as Tingle looks into his catcher, Troyer, to get the sign. Now looks over to first base. Fires here to the plate. Again, low and away into the dirt is Gabe Tingle.
Tingle needs a strike right here. He just needs to settle down, throw the baseball to his catcher, and let his defense do the work behind him.
Sometimes when you get pitchers coming in and leads like this, they want to try to do too much. Not saying Gabe's trying to do too much, but let your defense play here in West Lafayette. The 1-0 pitch gets in the dirt again, and Troyer does a nice job, but it squirts far enough away for Bircher to get on to second on the wild pitch from Gabe Tingle.
Bircher didn't go on the last one, and his dad coaching first base got him in a little bit, say, read that ball in the dirt. He did much better that time. As soon as he saw it in the dirt outside, he took off.
The 2-0 pitch from Tingle right down the middle for strike number 1. Nice pitch there from Gabe Tingle to Tanyan Mccomb, the catcher, who is 1 for 2 on the day with a double and grounded out to shortstop earlier in the ball game. Tingle fires it. It's going to be popped up. Looks like it's going to stay in play, and it is. Nice play by Aiden Troyer. That wind is wreaking havoc today. Aiden Troyer was under it, and at the last second broke off to his right and was able to catch the ball for out number 1 for the Ridgewood Generals.
He did a great job of putting his back to the mound when you catch there, and that because the ball, the way it spins, is going to naturally come back into play on those pop-ups. Great fundamentals there by Troyer behind the plate.
That's going to bring up number 21, Gavin Henry, for the Indian Valley Braves, as Bircher still out at second base as Henry takes a healthy cut at the fastball, but comes up empty. 0-1 now to
healthy
Gavin.
Cut, and there were some RPMs behind that high fastball.
RPMs on the swing as well. Gavin Henry took a hard swing at that. It's going to be another pop-up here. Is it going to stay in play for the Ridgewood Generals? It is not, as it gets out behind the third base dugout. A little trickery there by the third baseman, Colin Smith. Gets in behind the dugout, almost makes the catch. I'm sure that would have been legal. I mean, he was still in the field of play.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work, but I think you might be able to come out and say, hey, I caught that. Maybe try to steal one. I don't know, a little chicanery.
So 0-2 to Gavin Henry. Gabe Tingle trying to work out of trouble here as Brogan Bircher at second after a walk and gets to second on a wild pitch. 0-2 pitch now to Gavin Henry. Going to be ball outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Gavin Henry. Again, Gavin on the day is 1 for 3. He has popped out to first base, flew out to center field, and singled. The 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. Actually fouled, tip back into the mitt of Aiden Troyer. So that's going to count as a strikeout for Gabe Tingle, and he gets Gavin Henry swinging for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 6th.
Just looking at the field, Joe, I don't know the local ground rules here, but I'm going to guess they go in a straight line from the end of the dugout straight back as out of play there, so that would have been out of play had he come around there and caught it. Just looking because it's open behind there where fans can go. So
the first pitch now to J.D. Lancaster, who's in for Rafe Bonifay, who was left the game earlier due to an injury with a nasty collision with J.D.'s brother Cole. As J.D. Lancaster now grounds it out to second base, as Braden Molesky fires on to Javen Belt for out number 3 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. That's going to do it. Back with the top of the 7th. Ridgewood 8, Indian Valley 4. Back after this with Big Z Sports, Claxton Communications, and Stocker Concrete. Back after this.
Are you looking for a local propane supplier? TMK Valley Propane would like to offer you our hassle-free guarantee. We can provide you excellent service with automatic fill options, budget plans, and easy delivery. Let TMK show you how we take the hassle out of your winter heating needs. Give us a call today for a free site evaluation, 330-897-3911.
All the way with TMK. Service with a personal touch.
You found it. Big Z Sports on 99.9 WTUZ.
High school baseball with Big Z Sports, Claxton Communications, and Stocker Concrete. Joe Geckler, Travis McClellan, Jordan Hartzler here in West Lafayette. Top of the 7th inning. The Generals lead Indian Valley 8-4 behind 2 4-run innings from the Generals. And the Generals have done a number today as they were led on the hill by Andy Troyer, went 5 solid innings. Gabe Tingles pitched an inning, but the offense for the Ridgewood Generals putting up some big numbers here today. And they are leading 8-4 as we get into the top of the 7th inning. And leading off is number 2, Gabe Tingle. He's 0 for 4 on the day as he ropes one to left field, and it's going to be caught out there by the left fielder, Grant Schutte, as Tingle put a shot on that one. Right field, did I say left field? I'm losing my mind here today, fellas. I'm sorry. That's what happens when you get old, I guess. But right fielder Grant Schutte catches that line drive off the bat of Gabe Tingle, and that'll be out number 1.
If you're Indian Valley, that's really what you wanted. One pitch out there.
Yep.
Got a real dangerous hitter out. Tingle put a good barrel on that baseball, just hit it right to him.
Coachman really come in and done a nice job throwing strikes for the Braves.
As Javen Belt now in for the Ridgewood Generals and evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike, as Coachman is working fast here in the top of the 7th as that ball misses low.
Well, both teams are impressive how disciplined they are to play. Neither of them swing at pitches out of the zone.
yeah, they both do a nice job of not chasing pitches, as you mentioned, Jordan, as Cale Coachman gets the call on the inside corner for strike number 2 to even the count at 2-2 to Javen Belt. Javen on the day is 1 for 3 with a hit by pitch. He scored a run. He's also knocked in a run on a sacrifice fly as he takes ball number 3 to run the count full.
Javen didn't like that second strike call. He thought it was an off the plate. That one misses away. Good approach by Coachman there at pitch.
Henry fields it at shortstop on the ground ball, and nice scoop over there by J.D. Lancaster as he scoops it out of the dirt to retire Javen Belt. And that goes 6-3 on the putout for out number 2 and brings in Chase Booth, the shortstop for the Ridgewood Generals, who is 3 for 4 on the day.
Nice play there by Henry on the scoop and fire, and Lancaster over there with the pick.
Chase Booth with 2 singles and a double. Popped out to the third baseman back in the 5th inning as Booth takes the first pitch high and inside for ball 1.
Booth, the 3-hole hitter with 2 outs.
Coachman working quick here. Ball in the outside corner. Called a ball by home plate umpire. Runs the count to 2 balls and no strikes with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Strike 1 called right down the middle from Cale Coachman. Again, subscribe to our YouTube channel, WTUZ Big Z Sports. You can follow our live streams thanks to Claxton Communications as Chase Booth lines one down the third base line, but foul, says home plate umpire. And they call him back to the batter's box as the count now is even at 2-2.
Coach Laney doesn't like that call down there. He saw chalk. I thought I saw some chalk too.
I thought so too.
But it was called foul, so I have to do it again.
Yeah, he's looking over there at the spot right now, and Jordan, and he didn't like that too much, I don't think.
Didn't, Chris?
Sometimes you go over and put your foot in and say, hey, that's where it hit, but I don't think Coach Laney wants to show up the umpire this late in the
no
game.
replay here at the local high school level.
Nope. I was watching a game last night on Sunday Night Baseball on some 4-letter network that we all watch, and they called a fair ball on a ball that went into foul territory but across the bag in fair territory, and I was confused by how it was called a fair ball, but the announcers did a great job and said, hey, it crossed over in fair territory and it went just past the line, and they called it a fair ball. So it's whatever they want to call, I guess. The ball is going to be popped up in the infield, and shortstop Gavin Henry makes the catch for out number 3 off the bat of Chase Booth. That's going to do it for the top of the 7th inning. Can Indian Valley get back and tie this ball game to send it to extras? We'll find out. Bottom of the 7th inning coming up after this. You're listening to High School Baseball thanks to Stocker Concrete, Big Z Sports, and Claxton Communications. Back after this.
If you're planning a major concrete project, you need the help of Stocker Concrete Company. From precast concrete products to ready-mix concrete, sand, gravel, limestone, and concrete block, the professionals at Stocker Concrete can help you get started and keep you on the path to completion using the best materials you can find. Stocker Concrete is the concrete material provider you can count on. See them at 7574 Route 36, Janaden Hutton, or call 740-254-4626.
Now, back to Big Z Sports on 99.9.
Welcome back to Ridgewood High School for today's high school baseball action between the Ridgewood Generals and Indian Valley Braves with Big Z Sports, Claxton Communications, and Stocker Concrete. Joe Geckler, Travis McClellan, Jordan Hartzler. We are in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Ridgewood Generals lead the Indian Valley Braves 8-4. 3 outs to go here for the Generals to secure win number 7 on the season as Gabe Tingle on the mound for the Generals. And Carter Baker in the batter's box for the Indian Valley Braves, who came in for Cole Lancaster back a couple of innings ago after a nasty collision with Rafe Bonifay that caused both players to exit the game. And Tingle's first pitch right down the middle for strike 1.
Pitcher's favorite pitch, strike 1.
You never want to fall behind. You know, the last 3 outs, they say, are always the hardest to get. Tingle did a nice job of getting strike 1. And gets strike 2 there for Carter Baker, swinging and missing runs the count to no balls and 2 strikes to the number 3 hitter, Carter Baker, one of 3 seniors for the Indian Valley Braves.
Tingle threw one high. Look for him to go outside or a curveball in the dirt here. They're up 0-2.
The 0-2 pitch outside, like Travis said, and ball number 1. Baker, nice job of laying off the nasty 0-2 pitch from Gabe Tingle. That ball was in the other batter's box. Baker did a nice job laying off. Now the 1-2 pitch from Tingle. Swung on and driven right back up into center field for a base hit as Carter Baker gets a line drive single back up the box and into center field. And that's going to bring up number 22, Braden Parsons. Braden on the day is 1 for 2 with a walk and has scored 1 of the 4 runs for the Indian Valley Braves.
Nice piece of hitting there by Carter Baker. The senior goes right back up the box after being down 0-2. Nice approach.
Tingle looks into his catcher, Aiden Troyer, gets the pitch and fires it in, and it's fouled away by Braden Parsons. Strike 1. Parsons has walked on the day. He has flown out to right field, and he had a single earlier in the ball game. Tingle's next pitch low and inside to Parsons to even the count at 1-1. Tingle gets the sign, looks over to first, fires it in. Strike 2 called. Improves the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Ridgewood at double play depth here, trying to look to twist one to end the game.
Tingle, 1-2 pitch. Ball outside. Aiden Troyer gets it, but he loses it. It bounces high in the sky, and Troyer cannot find it in time. But as Carter Baker gets on to second base on the pass ball by Aiden Troyer, and the count now at 2-2 with a runner on second for Indian Valley. No outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Or bottom of the 7th inning, excuse me. We rewound a few innings and went back to the second.
I said double play to end the game, so we got to sharpen up here.
We're good. We're a little rusty here today, folks.
I think that pitch crossed up Troy, the catcher. He immediately went out and talked to Tingle, the pitcher there, and said, hey, what's going on out there? But he did a great job of trying to get out there and block it, just couldn't quite corral it.
So Braden Parsons at the plate with a 2-2 count. Carter Baker at second base with no outs. The ball again in the dirt.
Nice block.
Runs the count full to Braden Parsons. Does Gabe Tingle. It's a big pitch right here, guys. You don't want to get 2 runners on with no outs with your number 5 hitter, Grant Schutte, in the on-deck circle. The payoff pitch fouled off back here to the screen as Braden Parsons stays alive with a foul ball.
You're going to see strength on strength here. Full count and your 4-hitter up here, so probably going to see a fastball against your 4-hitter.
As Braden Parsons takes the full count, pitch,
nice
swing, and a miss. Strike 3 as Gabe Tingle gets a big strikeout there to retire Braden Parsons for out number 1.
Nice pitch out of your junior there to battle, not give in. Threw it on the outside on the black and got the strikeout.
Tingle with the first pitch high, fastball. 1 ball, no strikes to Grant Schutte. Grant on the day is 0 for 3. He has flew out to left field. He bounced back to the pitcher, and he popped out to the first baseman as Tingle gets that one over for strike 1. Eight to 4, bottom of the 7th inning. Ridgewood leads Indian Valley. Indian Valley has a runner on second with 1 out as Schutte drives one to right field. And a nice job by Curtis Varian in right field to haul that one in and keep the runner at second base for out number 2. And that's going to bring up Trevor Myers, the 6-hole hitter for the Indian Valley Braves.
Carter Baker of the Indian Valley Braves saw Varian's throw to third there a few innings back and didn't want any part of that there. And you don't want to ever make the third out at third base either.
Varian did a great job of getting a good jump on that baseball and tracking it down, had a tail on it, and he went and got it. That was a big out.
So Trevor Myers in the box now. He lines one to first base, and that's Javen Belton. He hauls it in, and that's going to do it here in West Lafayette as the Ridgewood Generals are going to knock off the Indian Valley Braves 8-4 here in high school baseball. They do the untraditional tip of the cap instead of shaking hands like usual. I miss that. Honestly, we're doing that in Little League now, and I really miss the handshakes at the end of the ball game, but the tip of the hat there for the Ridgewood Generals and Indian Valley Braves as the Ridgewood Generals improve to 7-5 on the season. The Indian Valley Braves fall to 7-7, now 4-1 in the IVC. That's their first IVC loss for the Indian Valley Braves at the hands of the Ridgewood Generals. But great game by both teams here today.
Really good game, and you got two teams that are historically very good and fundamentally sound, and that's what you got here tonight. And, it's a game of momentum and the game of runs. Ridgewood put 4 spots up on the board for their 8, and you see the Indian Valley, they scored 3 straight innings. It just wasn't quite enough there as Troyer really held down the Brave offense tonight.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break, come back. We're going to get some stats together, name our Big Z Sports player of the game as well. We're going to take a break, come back. You're listening to high school baseball. Again, final score in West Lafayette, Ridgewood 8, Indian Valley 4. Back after this, you're listening to high school baseball thanks to Stocker Concrete, Claxon Communications, Big Z Sports. Back after this.
Claxon Custom Printing and Promotions is a proud supporter of high school athletics.
Contact Casey Claxon or Judd Bone at claxonprinting.com for printed t-shirts, embroidery, and branded promotional products for your booster club or business.
We can also help your team set up an online fundraising store to sell your team apparel to fans across the country.
Visit claxonprinting.com or call 740-623-2145.
Hey there, sports fans. When it comes to taking care of the vehicle that transports your team, you expect it to be done with speed and accuracy. This is Phil Miller from the Parkway Quick Lane. When it comes to servicing your team's vehicle, let my team at Parkway Quick Lane deliver you the winning combination to keep your vehicle on the road and safe. If your vehicle needs to get off the sideline and back in the game, visit the Parkway Quick Lane for your next service appointment.
PAC Drilling, a family-owned and operated company since 2005 in Bolivar, takes pride in being an economic oil and gas drilling company. PAC's objective is to contribute to American energy independence through profitable development, operation, and marketing of oil and natural gas wells. PAC also employs operating technicians to oversee each and every well drilled to maximize its productivity and longevity. Contact PAC Drilling at pacdrilling.com.
Powered by Purpose at Kent State University, Tuscarawas. Kent State Tusk offers over 30 bachelor's and associate degrees. We have over a dozen athletic programs, including basketball and volleyball. Student life is diverse with over 20 extracurricular student clubs. Our nursing and technology programs are some of the most sought after in the area. Staying local is the most cost-effective way of obtaining your degree. Define your own success. Powered by Purpose at Kent State University, Tuscarawas.
The First National Bank of Denison appreciates the hard work and dedication area athletes exhibit to be the best they can be for their team. We follow that same philosophy with our customers, working hard to build personal relationships and making our services convenient. The First National Bank of Denison's community involvement is important to us, and we love supporting our local schools. The First National Bank of Denison, with offices in Denison, Dover, Jeanette Hutton, South Broadway, and Schönbrunn in New Philadelphia. We have our roots where others have their branches. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Buying a home has never been so affordable with record low interest rates. Hartzler's Quality Housing is ready to put over 40 years of experience to work for you. Family owned and operated since 1978, Hartzler's has a wide selection of model homes on site with a knowledgeable team to help make your new home a reality. Open 6 days a week. Visit them off I-77 in Dover or online at hartzlers.com. Hartzler's Quality Housing. Quality from start to finish.
If you're planning a major concrete project, you need the help of Stocker Concrete Company. From precast concrete products to ready-mix concrete, sand, gravel, limestone, and concrete block, the professionals at Stocker Concrete can help you get started and keep you on the path to completion using the best materials you can find. Stocker Concrete is the concrete material provider you can count on. See them at 7574 Route 36, Janaden Hutton, or call 740-254-4626.
Now, back to Big Z Sports on 99.9.
Welcome back to West Lafayette and Ridgewood High School. The final score here today, the Ridgewood Generals 8, the Indian Valley Braves 4, as the Ridgewood Generals improve to 7-5 on the season. The Indian Valley Braves fall to 7-7 on the season. Joe Geckler, Travis McClellan, Jordan Hartzler here as we await Chad Laney, the Ridgewood head baseball coach, and, of course, our player of the game. We'll announce that here coming up in just a little bit. But, Travis, a good game here by the Ridgewood Generals. They get 2 innings where they score 4 runs each inning. They did a nice job defensively. A couple issues out in left field, but that wind is really wreaking havoc today for the outfinders. But the Ridgewood Generals played a real nice game here.
Yeah, they played a great game as the away team on their home field due to field issues up in Indian Valley getting a new field. But they really came to play. Troyer threw a nice game for them, and defense rallied behind them until they could get on the board. They scored in the second inning, they put up 4, and then again in the fourth inning they put up 4, and that's the kind of run support you like as a pitcher, especially if you get early runs. You can come and settle down into your game and really cruise control, and that's what Andy Troyer did tonight. The general offense was patient. They didn't swing at balls outside of the strike zone. They got clutch hits, a couple of those into the blue Bermuda Triangle there, I can say that, and really moved runners, and they hit with 2 outs. They hit behind runners. They did the little things it takes. No big flies, They got a couple doubles, but mostly it was they did things right with small ball. They come out on top 8-4.
Your thoughts on the play by the Indian Valley Braves? I thought they played a good game here, just a couple of tough innings.
Yeah, two innings got away from the Braves tonight, and sometimes when you're trying to stop that snowball running downhill when the other team gets momentum is very difficult. And the 2 big innings, they put up 8 runs in a high school baseball game. Usually gets the job done, especially when you get good pitching. And Indian Valley's got a lot of young talent out there. They're going to be fine years to come. Three seniors here tonight, and they're fundamentally sound. Tanyan Mccomb and Coach Bircher have them ready to go. They're going to win some baseball games in the next few years.
Love to see young baseball teams getting those young kids to be able to play, and it's fun to see. The Indian Valley, 3 seniors, 3 juniors, so only 6 upperclassmen.
Yeah.
A lot of young kids playing for the Indian Valley Braves, which is going to be good down the stretch.
We said sophomore and freshman a lot tonight for them.
Absolutely. And we're going to be joined now by Ridgewood head baseball coach Chad Laney. And Coach, first of all, man, I just have to compliment whoever takes care of this field. This is absolutely unbelievable facilities here for the Ridgewood Generals. You got to be happy with the facility you get to play in and day out.
Yeah, we're pretty fortunate with what we have here. I know our guys really appreciate it, but we get the chance to play on this field several times throughout the week. So every time we get the chance to come out here, we enjoy it.
The talk is always about the Ridgewood football team getting to play on that spectacular football field over just across the way here. But you guys have a fantastic turf here to play some baseball in. But, Coach, you got to be proud of your team's effort today. 2 big innings, 4-run innings for the Generals to really propel you to a win.
Yeah, we came out there in the 2 innings and put up 4 runs apiece. We still left some out there, and that's things that's going to come as the season goes on. But we battled. We've struggled offensively in some aspects, but today we were able to put 8 runs across, and Andy gutted it out on the mound, and we were able to secure the win.
Coach, you alluded to Andy gutting it out of the mound, and how big is that 4-run second inning for your pitcher to be able to come out and settle down?
It's really big. A lot of times this year we found ourselves. Our pitchers are adding extra pitches throughout the inning, and whether that is on them with walks or whether it's on us with errors, we're finding ourselves running deep into count. So, when you get a 4-run lead, it's pretty simple objective. You go out there and you throw strikes and let your defense play. And I thought he did that, and then, as the innings went on, he kind of labored a little bit. But, that's going to happen early on in the season, and we'll get better with it.
Coach, obviously the outfielders today had to deal with some prevailing winds out there. If you look out that flag on the flagpole is kind of drooping a little bit now, but it was standing straight out during the game, and the left fielders had some issues with some balls here today on some bad hops, and the wind kind of took the ball in crazy directions. But what was the word from the outfielders today about the wind?
We play here quite often, and that flag is usually pretty stiff blowing out to left field.
Really?
And it's always an adventure out there. Gabe sometimes gets frustrated because it never blows out to right field for him. But, that's one of the things we do pregame is we work on communication drills with fly balls, because the ball that starts in the infield a lot of times here will end up trailing to the outfield. So it's always an adventure out there. Keegan had a little bit of a rough one today, but that happens sometimes. So he'll bounce back, and we'll be good to go.
Sure. What's next this week for the Generals?
Tomorrow night we're going to head to Claymont for a makeup game of a couple weeks back, and then we're right back here on Wednesday against Indian Valley.
Well, Coach, again, congratulations on win number 7 on the season, and go get them the rest of the week.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
Again, that's Chad Laney, the head baseball coach for the Ridgewood Generals, joining us here in our post-game show. And now we're going to be joined by our Big Z Sports and Claxon Communications player of the game, and that is Andy Troyer. Andy, congratulations on a great game here today on the mound and at the plate. First of all, let's talk about your game on the mound today. You went 5 innings. You struck out 2, you walked 3, but you only gave up two earned runs. You gave up 4 runs altogether, but your defense played pretty well behind you today.
Yeah, yep, they did.
Andy, talk about when you're on the mound, the importance of getting strike 1 as a pitcher and leading strike 1 into winning the at-bat.
Oh, yeah, it's all mindset, really, when you're up there. If you can get strike 1, then you're in the catcher, or you're in the batter's head, and it's pretty smooth sailing from there. And
how special is it for you to be able to have your little brother catch for you when you're out on the mound? It's got to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty good. We've been actually here about last year or so, through fall ball and stuff, been doing that.
Awesome. And talk about your time at the plate here today. You had a couple big hits today, and scored a couple big runs. You got the 1-4-run inning started off and scored some runs, and it's got to make you feel good as you're out on the mound and you get back out there and it's 4-0, and you had something to do with that.
Yep, it is a good feeling. You got to go out there and know you got to start the inning off. So I've been in a slump, but I'm getting back on it there. I've been attacking the first pitch.
Andy, talk about the mentality when you're going to go take the mound in a big game. And I heard before the game they asked you how many pitches you had. You said whatever it takes. Mm-hmm. Talk about that mentality. Talk about the attitude going to toe the mound for the first pitch in a big game, and what you have to go succeed.
Like you said, it's just all mindset. You got to go out there and know that you're the best on the field, but you got to know that you've got the best defense behind you, and just put it over the plate and let the game go.
Well, Andy, congratulations on a big win for you and the Generals today, and good luck the rest of the week, and we'll see you again down the road.
Thank you.
Again, that's Andy Troyer, our Big Z Sports and Claxon Communications player of the game here today. Andy picks up the win on the mound, gets it done at the plate, 2 for 3 with an RBI, scores 2 runs for the Generals, and a big win here today against Indian Valley, as Andy Troyer and the Generals improve to 7-5 on the season. So we'll bring my guys back in, Jordan Hartzler and Travis McClellan. And guys, your final thoughts on a great day for some high school baseball. Jordan, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on a great day for some high school baseball here in West Lafayette. We saw the Generals pull out a win 8-4.
Yeah, great day for baseball. If you're Indian Valley, you got to take away from this, hey, this is where we get better right here. Our young guys competed. It was just we had a guy on down 4 in the last frame there in the last inning, and gave ourselves a chance. But they clean little things up, and they get a little bit more timely hitting, and they're going to be just fine. They're built for the future down there at Indian Valley, and they got a great program, and they'll be just fine. If you're the Generals, you're looking to hit your stride right now. I know they haven't talked to the coach. They haven't played up to where they want to be throughout the year, but they feel like they can put everything together here at the end of the year and make some noise in the postseason.
Well, Jordan, my man, great job today. I appreciate you. I appreciate the sponsorships that Hartzler's Quality Housing gives Big Z Sports year in and year out. We couldn't do what we do without guys like Jordan and Hartzler's Quality Housing, filling in for a sponsorship for Big Z Sports, and we appreciate Jordan and what he does for us here at Big Z Sports. And Travis, your final thoughts here today.
Great game here. Ridgewood obviously comes on top 8-4. Indian Valley, if you're looking at it, they get to run it back here in 2 days, back down here in West Lafayette because of the scheduling, but you get to run it back. And as we're looking out the press box here at this beautiful stadium, what I love about small town baseball is the pride they take in their field. You see the coaches, you saw the kids already working on the field 5 minutes after the game was up, and both these programs are great. They're going to go a lot of young talent on the field, not too many seniors on either squad. I believe it was 4 for Ridgewood, 3 for Indian Valley. You're going to see these two teams go head to head the next couple of years. I'm excited to see what they do down the IVC race down the end of the season.
It's going to be a lot of fun for sure on the diamond here in West Lafayette and all over the area when high school baseball is being played, that is for sure. Again, the final score here in West Lafayette: the Ridgewood Generals 8, the Indian Valley Braves 4. Indian Valley, they fall to 7-7 on the season. Ridgewood, they are now 7-5. A big thank you to Claxon Communications today. Casey Claxon, Fred Williams, and of course Greg Perkins doing the job behind the scenes for us here today to allow us to bring you the play-by-play action on our YouTube channel for Big Z Sports, WTUZ Big Z Sports. Of course, you can follow Big Z Sports on social media on WTUZ.com as well. Social media, WTUZ Big Z Sports on Facebook, at Big_Z Sports on Twitter, and on Instagram at Big Z Sports. Big thanks to my main man, Travis McClellan. Great to be back in a
Yes, sir.
Press box with you, and of course Jordan Hartzler joining us here today as he helped us out with some color and some great analysis here in the ball game today. Big thanks to everyone who tuned in, and we will catch you on Friday night. I believe Dover and New Philadelphia at Dover. That's going to be part 2. New Philadelphia won the first one on a wild pitch, bases loaded wild pitch. New Philadelphia won that ball game the first time around, so Dover has revenge on their mind this Friday night. You can join Chris Kale and Travis McClellan right here on WTUZ.com and, of course, on our stream on YouTube, WTUZ Big Z Sports. You got to subscribe. It's free, but you get to watch the game and see your favorite high school players.
Thanks for listening to Big Z Sports. Tonight's broadcast was presented by Stocker
Final time, Ridgewood 8, Indian Valley 4. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you on Friday night. Again, for Big Z Sports, I'm Joe Geckler. We'll talk to you down the road.
Thanks for listening to Big Z Sports. Tonight's broadcast was presented by Stocker Concrete, Amici's Pizza, Claxon Communications, First National Bank of Denison, Gilland Body Shop, Hartzler's Quality Housing, Keim, Kent State University Tuscarawas, PAC Drilling, Parkway Quick Lane, TMK Valley Propane, and Wood Electric. Follow Big Z Sports on Facebook, on Twitter, at Big_Z Sports. For the best coverage of high school sports, there's only one, Big Z Sports.
It's almost like a podcast in a way, because people will be.
Hey, see you, bud. Good to see you.
Sorry,
hey, how'd Chase do?
For you.